Cover. Fox's Jonathan Seri at Fort Stewart. The mother of a school shooter has committed suicide in Wisconsin. Melissa Rupno, her daughter, Natalie, killed a student and teacher at a Christian school in December, then killed herself.
Rupnow's ex-husband, Jeffrey Rupnow, is charged with allowing Natalie access to the weapons she used in the shooting and told investigators he bought them as a way to connect with her and help her cope following her parents' divorce.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. New U.S. tariffs now in effect on imports from more than 60 countries, ranging from 10 to 41%. President Trump says they have billions of dollars flowing in.
We have a country that is going to be very rich.
In Truth Social post this morning, the president announced he's calling for a new census immediately based on 2024 election results, and illegal immigrants won't be counted. He also called on Intel CEO to resign immediately the day after Republican Senator Tom Cotton demanded Intel disclose if Lip Bhutan has ties to China's Communist Party. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
IndyCar responding. Sunny skies, it's 71 on Monument Circle. You have a high pushing 90 today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. This report is brought to you by Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 9:02. IndyCar says they were caught off guard by the post from the Department of Homeland Security depicting an IndyCar outside of a ICE detention center. A new facility is coming to Indiana just north of Kokomo, donned as the Speedway Slammer. The car also had the number 5 on it, which brought a response from Aero McLaren driver Pato O'Ward. He said he was shocked by the post and also said he didn't think it made a lot of people proud. Police in Mishawaka say a group of teenagers and adults were gathered at an apartment complex early Tuesday morning when a 15-year-old handling a firearm accidentally let it go off. A bullet struck 17-year-old Wesley Dantzler. He was taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. The 15-year-old has since been taken to the Juvenile Justice Center and faces a preliminary charge of reckless homicide. Officers continued their work with the St. Joseph Prosecutor's Office to determine any potential charges. You won't want to just watch out for temperatures getting warmer in Indiana in the coming days. Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says you'll also want to pay attention to the heat index values.
So the heat index values through the week will generally be in the lower 90s on Thursday, and then as we get through Friday and Saturday and Sunday, when we have a little bit warmer temperatures in the area, we'll see heat index values in the middle 90s.
The heat index combines air temperatures and relative humidity to give you an idea of just how hot it really is outside. The average price of gas for Hoosiers today, $3.21 a gallon, says Gas Buddy, down just a few cents from earlier this week. The average in Indianapolis is $3.16. Tonight, we get our first real look at the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson will be starting at quarterback this evening against the Baltimore Ravens. He's shown more consistency throughout this training camp, according to head coach Shane Steichen.
It's been great to see. We need that from him. You know what I mean? We need that from everybody. That's one of my pillars is consistency, and we need to be consistent all the time. You know, not sometimes be the same guy every day and show up.
Daniel Jones will see some reps, too, along with Riley Leonard. And the Indiana Fever are hoping to close out their road trip out west on a positive note tonight as they take on the Phoenix Mercury. Head coach Stephanie White says she loves how the team has taken steps forward ever since the All-Star break.
I think the biggest thing with this group is that they play for each other, that nobody really cares who gets the credit. They just want to go out and compete and put our team in position to win.
Caitlin Clark will once again be sidelined with her groin injury. Now a check of traffic this morning. What's up, Matt Bear?
All right, Jared, looking at southbound 31 before Keystone Parkway. It is a crash backing us up to State Road 32. On the northeast side, eastbound 465 at Allisonville Road, a stall. And this is blocking the right lane at Allisonville Road, slowing us down to the White River. Westbound 74, southeast of Indy, it is a vehicle fire that just cleared. All lanes are open, nothing to see there now. Northbound 65, stop and go after South Keystone Avenue, up to the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Got to get to windownation.com right now to check out these incredible savings this month. Get 50% off all Windows styles, 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest for 2 years. You could be paying nothing until 2027. Let me repeat that offer because I think it bears repeating. Window Nation, right now, 50% off all style of windows and no money up front until 2027. Are you kidding me? I'm a Window Nation customer. I love my Window Nation windows, and you will too, especially with this offer.
Even if you're just thinking about getting new windows, call Window Nation and speak to a representative. Lock this deal in. Ask them how you can get all of the savings. 866-90-NATION. You can schedule a fast, free estimate with Window Nation. And if you want to get the savings, you need to speak to somebody today. 866-90-NATION or go online to windownation.com. But you have to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Sunny skies, very warm and muggy this afternoon, a high of 87. Partly cloudy tonight, a few scattered showers and storms north of the city, a low of 70. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and at WIBC.com. Time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So, what's the deal now? The Republicans are so proud of the thing that Vance is asking him to do that they're doing it behind closed doors?
Yeah.
Is that the deal?
I guess.
Because we don't... Now, we heard a room... Okay. Let's reset. It's Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. The vice president is supposed to be here today, and I was anticipating some big hullabaloo to try to get downtown. And in fairness, it's always a hullabaloo to get downtown, but it was no more or less a hullabaloo than it normally is.
Right.
And then we're trying to figure out, okay, when is he going to be here? Because Adam Wren had reported. We love Adam Wren because you know what he said about me.
Oh, you're the most powerful person in Indiana politics?
Not the most powerful broadcaster in the state. Let's not over-exaggerate.
Okay, there we go.
Adam Wren of Importantville, newsletter Politico, said that. He reported... What? He said it, not me. You know, I'm very modest.
No, wait, what was it? Most powerful?
Most powerful broadcaster in the state.
Broadcaster, got it. Okay, good.
I was very embarrassed when he said that. But
sure
anyway, the point of all this is he reported last night that there was no disclosure on when Vance was going to be here, and Braun's public calendar now had essentially been wiped clean. So I think we were anticipating, hey, they're so proud of this redistricting plan where they're going to try to rig the electoral map to get them another 1 or 2 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives that they'll do this out in public. The Flanders boys are supposed to be there, Rod and Todd and Braun. And now I guess we were told by a reliable source, 10:30-ish was the time he's supposed to be here.
Correct.
And now I guess it's all going to be behind closed doors. And nothing says we're super proud of what we're doing by just not letting anybody see what's going on.
Well, I've been hearing that there's going to be a sit-in at the State House, people who are not in favor of this, but discussions with the vice president are expected to be exploratory.
You ever done a sit-in? You ever sat in on anything? Kev, you ever sat in on anything? Ever sat down in public for a cause?
I don't think so.
You ever sat down in public for a cause, Casey?
Not for a cause. I mean, I guess a property tax rally.
And you were sitting?
For a part of that, sure.
Yeah, but I don't know if you were sitting. Yeah, we'll count that. You were sitting down in public and it was a cause.
Yeah.
So I guess I have 2 sat down in public for a cause. I also one time, I had General Assembly, which are floor seats to a Springsteen concert in Louisville. You have to get there like 9 hours early for that.
That was your cause.
And so I while standing there to get in, I was in line. I sat down.
For many years in northern Indiana, I participated in Roof Sit, which was an event for a good cause. It was to raise funds for the prevention of child abuse.
We love that. And that was on a roof?
Yeah. It started on the roof.
Is a roof in public? Oh, were you sitting on the roof?
Sitting on the roof, sleeping on the roof, living on the roof, broadcasting on the roof.
You're like James Taylor. You're up on the roof.
Yeah, up on the roof.
Very good.
But they did move it down off the roof eventually.
Somebody in the YouTube chat said they're going to put good old Diego up front for the photo op. There's no way they're letting Morales anywhere near that guy, right? There's no way.
Well, they'd have to give him a booster, right?
There's no way. Hey,
J.D. Vance is very tall.
We want to make sure Diego is here. All right. So I have not changed my opinion on this, which this is wrong. Nikki Kelly is going to join us at 10:15. Nobody knows Indiana government like her. She's going to lay out why this may not even be legal, like, period. Screw the actual rights or wrongs of it, that Indiana may not even legally be able to do it. But again, I come back to, look at the time Braun is giving, even if he doesn't do anything, Casey. Even if he does nothing. Look at the time he is giving to exploring a special session versus how he handled the calls for a special session with the property tax reform.
Right.
I ain't doing that. There's no point.
Right.
And here,
it's not going to be worth my time.
He's spending all sorts of time pondering a special session.
It does seem like he's more motivated about this idea than the property tax relief idea.
Sure, because his adult supervision is telling him to do it.
Well, let's think about this. One affects millions of Hoosiers. One affects him.
Yes. And,
or his friends.
Whether you meant to do it or not, you have led me into my next point, which I wanted to make, which is coming up at 9:30. We are going to have Austin Bont on our program. He is the mayor of Portage, Indiana.
Yeah.
And he is going, this post he made has gone viral. It's been shared hundreds of times about how he is alleging that Ed Soliday, who heads up utilities in the House of Representatives in the state of Indiana, sent him a message threatening to withhold future increases in funding over Austin Bont, the mayor of Portage, being critical of the IURC and the continued utility rate increases his people are seeing and the need to reform that commission. And I believe Soliday has confirmed the message was sent. I don't even think you have to say allegedly anymore, and we'll get to Austin on that later. But what that is a glimpse into, how dare you challenge me? I am here for me. I am the great and powerful Oz. I will do whatever the hell I want to do. And that's essentially what Rod and Todd, the Flanders boys, and Braun, that's what they're doing. When it was property taxes, when it was helping you, screw off. That's a waste of time. Oh, sweet daddy Trump wants us to do something, and it might get us another player on our team. Well, we'll move heaven and earth to make that happen.
Yeah, welcome to town, Vice President. So other states that are considering redistricting, Texas, they could possibly gain 5 seats.
Now, let's real quick. Let's talk about the difference, though, and maybe we'll get into this with Nikki Kelly at 10:15.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the difference between Texas and Indiana. I'm not saying it's right for Texas. We have a census every 10 years. We work off of that. But at least Texas can claim, due to horrific governance in blue states, mass migration into their state over the last 5 years. They can say we've had millions of people come in. That's what they're using as their crutch. Again, I'm not saying that's right. We do it every 10 years. You'll get your extra people when you always got your extra people in a perfect world. But at least they can say we're doing this because we have had a flood of people into our state. We know where they're moving, and we believe that the representation is not right. Again, it's a stretch, but at least they can say that. Indiana can't say that. They're doing it for no reason other than trying to rig the electoral process. That's it. If they do it, period, full stop.
Another state that's considering it, Florida. They could potentially gain 3 to 5 seats. Ohio, 2 seats. Missouri, 1 seat. And Indiana, 1 to 2 seats. So when you put them all together, the Republican Party, let's see, what is that? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 seats.
Okay, so now let's talk about the other side of this. Somebody made a point on this yesterday to me that, is that the way the census works, correct me if I'm wrong, they count illegal immigrants. This was a huge fight in Trump's first term about whether they had to count, because they asked for persons in the house, I think is on the census. They don't ask for legal persons. And this was a huge hayrube in Trump's first term. What? That's a great description, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a big fight. And the courts, I think, said you have to count, which is ridiculous, but you have to count illegal immigrants in the census. There's people who say, well, I'm fine with these states doing this because places like California and New York have been getting extra people for years because their representation, the population of the state, they haven't been enforcing the rules and the laws, so we're just evening out the game. That may be so, but we have now just opened Pandora's box. And by the way, on the Democrat side, did you see the well-fed fellow? What's his name? The governor. The well-fed governor of Illinois.
Pritzker.
Pritzker. He was on one of these underachieving late-night shows. Was it
Stephen
Colbert? Colbert.
Yeah.
And even Colbert was pointing the map out to him and is like, dude.
Yeah. He was joking that a kindergarten class could have drawn the state's district map.
Like, there's one district that is like pencil thin little Jimmy Buffett reference here for you, Kevin. A pencil-thin mustache. Casey's mouthing along as I was saying it. And it just runs across the state. It's like, what possibly do the people where that district starts and what it ends, what do they have in common? That's the point of the districts. You're supposed to have like-minded people, like-minded topography, like-minded industry, agriculture, whatever. Do we have audio of this?
We do. Colbert, even he couldn't ignore how completely insane all of the districts looked.
Crazy districts in Illinois. Take a look at this. Look at 17 here. It does that. Then it comes up here and it sneaks around there and goes all the way up here and then goes right over there like that. And look at this one, kind of goes whoop up there. It's like the stinger on a scorpion down here. Is this common for all states to do?
Well, we handed it over to a kindergarten class and let them decide.
Okay, and that's the nonpartisan group that does this for you guys?
That's our independent commission, you know. That is, yeah. Look.
Because all states...
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a big joke.
But it's a joke on both sides. So for the people who are like, you're so mean to the Republicans. Why don't you be mean to the Democrats? I just did. It's all ridiculous. The electoral system in this country is a complete joke. But here's the other fascinating thing.
Yeah.
And I know we got to get to a break. We're led to believe, look at these districts and the shenanigans that take place at these districts. But if you question in 2020, hey, the mail-in balloting thing, it seemed like it was kind of open for, some potential shenanigans. Well, you're just we didn't land on the moon conspiracy person.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
From red carpets to red states, actor Nick Searcy has seen it all. He starred in the FX TV show Justified and movies like The Fugitive and Castaway. But what he saw in Hollywood and Washington, D.C. changed everything. He'll join Tony Katz for one night of unfiltered stories, sharp insight, and a little bourbon on the side. From Hollywood to the heartland. Saturday, August 23rd at West Fork Whiskey Company. Brought to you by Premier Arms and Boer Remodeling. Tickets on sale now at WIPC.com.
Hey, ladies, are you interested in self-protection but don't know where to begin, or maybe you're too nervous to enter the gun store alone? Well, let me introduce you to Premier Arms. They're more than just a gun store. Premier Arms is a supportive community dedicated to empowering women. They have a friendly, educated staff, and they'll provide personalized guidance, ensuring you feel confident in your firearm choice. It's Casey Daniels letting you know Premier Arms is where female gun owners are supported. Call them today, 317-858-3030.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken.
Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Hey, it's Big Joe for Absolute Comfort, your trusted independent American Standard Air dealer. And owner Chris Wedekin sells the Mitsubishi Electric Mini Split, a great option for heating and cooling where ductwork can't be installed.
If you have one of those homes that has baseboard heat or electric heat, ceiling cable heat, these can be specifically designed for those houses, because in those houses it's very difficult having to do all the construction and remodeling that goes with adding ductwork into those types of homes.
Find out more by going to AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted independent American Standard Air Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Hey, newsflash.
What's that?
And I don't know who needs to hear this, because sometimes I think people are well-meaning. I just think they're weak, and they don't think it through. If you don't care enough about your kid to let them roam the streets of a dangerous major metropolitan city at night and commit violent acts and have access to weaponry to do it, the chances are a fine or the threat of a fine, it ain't going to make no difference.
Yeah, that's true. So the Indianapolis City County Council, the Republicans, they proposed adding some fines to help enforce the curfew ordinance.
And
the first violation, though, a written notice to parents.
Oh, it's like the
You don't care where your kid is. Are you going to care that you're getting a written notice?
So it's like the speeding cameras, the camera things now. Isn't the first one a warning on those? That's exactly what it is. Hey, you don't know where your kid is and he goes out and commits an act of violence. You're going to get a written warning.
We're going to write you up.
And then the next
We're going to put you in timeout.
Be serious fine. Okay, so what after that? Okay, so you get a written warning. First act of shenanigans is a written warning. Okay, then what?
Then the second violation is a $500 fine.
No, this is just a proposal. It hasn't been enacted, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then the third violation, a $1,500 fine.
Okay, so
or more.
I'm going to take a or more.
Or
We're
more.
just making it up. It's however we feel.
Third violation or
Okay,
more, $1,500 fine.
Case, not to label anyone, not to put any anybody in a box, but what do you think are the odds that if you're just letting your child roam the streets of a dangerous metropolitan city unattended, not once but twice, if the first time didn't do it for you,
With the written notice?
if you need the written notice, right? Okay, that's one thing. It's bad if you need the written notice. Two, if you'll do it twice, do you think, one, that the fine is going to make any difference, and two, that they'll pay it or be able to pay it?
Ooh,
let's just say the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
That
Will
means
they pay it?
nothing to those people.
Yeah. I understand what they're doing. I mean, they're trying to, emphasize the need for parents to pay more attention where your kids are. And if you don't, it's going to start costing you money. So I think the intention is good. Will the execution matter?
See, the problem is we don't have a pauper's jail. If we had a pauper's jail, that might make some difference. Where if you're owed, like, say you lost a lawsuit to Abdul, or you just whatever, and you couldn't pay that back, then until you get on a plan to pay that back, you got to go, to the pokey somewhere or something. That doesn't exist. Like that is not a thing. It doesn't occur. So you're going to find them. Who's going to collect? You're going to send Guido over? Hey, it's time to pay up. And what if they don't? Then what? The answer is nothing. We already don't have enough beds. We don't have a place to put these people. This is ridiculous because you can't force people to be parents. You cannot force them to be parents.
Okay, so Councilor Josh Bain, he said that the ordinance aims to add consequences. That's the thing. Either do it or
what?
Are you going to give? We're going to fine you.
And we like Bain. Bain's actually going to be on with us tomorrow to discuss this because maybe we're missing some angle on it. But Abdul has talked about this before, and I hope I'm not mischaracterizing what he's saying. And I think maybe he's used verbiage similar to this. These kids are going to get the message when you give them a swift kick up the backside. That's what they'll understand. These parents, sorry, if you're on multiple occasions letting your underage child roam, this is not Mayberry, This is not small town USA. This is Indianapolis, Indiana, with at or near record homicide numbers every single year. If on multiple occasions you're letting your kid just roam the streets, you're kind of a zero. I'm sorry. Maybe you have to work a second job, maybe a third job. I'm not saying that every person is a zero, but for the vast majority of this, it's not simply, well, Martha was out working too many jobs to provide for her kids and she couldn't keep an eye on everybody.
Right.
A lot of these is there's no father involved in many cases. They don't want to be around. Or if they are, they're not engaged. I mean, this is ridiculous to think that these people are going to pay this or be held accountable to pay it. It's just they're just throwing things out at this point.
Okay, so the proposal is going to be introduced in committee next Monday. A full city county council vote's expected in September after summer's over. And
wait, they're not even voting on it until, hey, because here's what they'll do.
Yeah.
This is why they're doing it. It'll be winter, and then they'll be like, see, the kids were off the streets.
Right.
It totally worked.
It worked, right, exactly. Now, if passed, the fines are going to go into effect in September. And if the fines go unpaid, violations will be referred to the county prosecutor and proceed then through the court system.
Mears.
Because, yes, Because his hands aren't full with other things.
You're going to go get these parrots. Okay, we got to take a break. When we come back, this is an unbelievable story. So Austin Bonta is the mayor of Portage, Indiana. That's the region.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, when I talked to him yesterday, this is how powerful our reach is. I called, and he was like, I was in a meeting, but I had to know if it was the Rob Kendall who was calling.
The Rob Kendall?
All the way up in Portage. This is an incredible story. He is the mayor of Portage, and well, I think the guy kind of confirmed it. I don't even know if we have to say alleged. He has produced text messages from Ed Soliday, who is the big head honcho on the House side of utilities, threatening to withhold future increases in money to the city of Portage over this mayor being critical of the IURC and a
utility rate hikes.
Utility there in Portage and utility rate hikes. It's just an unbelievable story. Austin will join us next.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Well, check this out. August is Pet Appreciation Month. Really, are you supposed to appreciate those little stinkers when they poop or pee on the carpet because you oversleep 5 whole minutes? This is Denny Smith, and let's appreciate the folks that help you really clean up things after those little accidents. I'm talking about Zero Res. Before we get any deeper into summer, you can get 3 rooms Zero Resified for $129, get 15% off pet odor treatments, and $50 off air duct cleaning too. And they can handle virtually every surface in your home from floors to air ducts. Zero Res means zero residue, and it's in the water they use. The unique ZR water uses no soap, no harsh chemicals, and leaves no residue, just healthy, fresh surfaces. Zero Res cleans our floors, and I'll tell you that it's simply amazing, and it works. Call now. Mention WIBC, you'll get 3 rooms cleaned for $129. Get 15% off the pet odor treatments and $50 off air duct cleaning. 317-388-5141, ZeroResIndy.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob for one of the greatest Hoosiers who ever lived, our friend Mark Dietel. Yes, Mark wants you to know Zillow ranks Indianapolis number 2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. That means now is a great time to sell your home. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with our guy, our friend Mark Dietel. Perhaps you're worried you're going to need costly repairs or upgrades to sell your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Luke and Emma in Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietel. We began building our new dream home, and we needed to sell our old place at a great price to pay for it. The Mark Dietel team made it easy with multiple offers in the first weekend and closed in 25 days at the price we wanted. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold, or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer. You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Jeff Chapman here. Your home has a lot of systems. We cover them all. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, drains, and now electrical. Remember the man for all seasons, and now more reasons. Chapman. ChapmanHeating.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Possibly meeting soon with the Russian leader. Sunny and 73 in Indianapolis with a high of 89 today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's 9:30. President Trump could meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in the near future.
A Kremlin aide indicating a meeting has been agreed to in principle and would be President Trump's first sit-down with Russian President Putin since the start of his second administration. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president is open to meeting with both Putin and Ukrainian President Zelensky, adding, great progress was made after this week's meeting between Putin and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. The Kremlin says both sides can be satisfied with the meeting. President Trump has been critical of both leaders, but has made it a goal to bring an end to the war in Ukraine. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The latest numbers on the job market again are showing signs of a no hire, no fire economy as companies are reluctant to lay off staff. New claims for unemployment benefits rose by just 6,000 last week to 226,000. The forecast was for 221,000 new claims. And United Airlines having to ground many of its mainline flights at major U.S. airports for several hours Wednesday due to a technical issue. The airline confirming the news in a statement posted to social media where they apologized to passengers for the inconvenience. Major airports that were impacted included Newark, Chicago, and Houston. The company said it was able to resolve the underlying technology issue after several hours, adding it was not caused by a cyber attack. And now your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow is up over 240 points to 44,193. The S&P 500 also in the green, up 40 points to 6,345. And the NASDAQ is up 191 points, 23,315. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today. Today.
Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down.
Don't let pneumococcal pneumonia break your stride. If you're 50 or older, you're at increased risk. So be proactive with Capvaxive pneumococcal 21-valent conjugate vaccine to help protect against invasive pneumococcal disease and pneumonia caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive helps protect against the strains of bacteria that cause about 30% more IPD cases than any other pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in adults over 50, according to national-level CDC stats. Regional variations may exist. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Capvaxive does not protect against all strains. For more information, call 1-800-927-8888 or visit capvaxive.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Need help paying for your Merck vaccine? Visit merckhelps.com. Sponsored by Merck.
I had a friend was a big baseball player back in high school.
So did a state representative, a powerful one, try to strong-arm a mayor over his criticism of a utility? Let's make some sense of it. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here. Joined now on the WIBC hotline by Austin Bont. He is the mayor of Portage, and he had a fascinating post on Facebook the other day alleging that Representative Ed Soliday, who is the chairman of the Utilities, Energy, and Telecommunications Committee in the Indiana House of Representatives, essentially threatened to withhold money from his city over his criticism of a utility. Mayor Bont joins us now. Austin, hello.
Hey, how are you?
All right, so did I get that right, that essentially you were critical of a local utility? NIPSCO is their name. Is that correct?
NIPSCO is the one that services northwest Indiana, including Lake and Porter County. Porter County being where my city, Portage, is located.
Yeah, so they're an electric company, right?
Electric and gas, yeah.
Yeah, and so correct me if I'm wrong, your constituents in the Portage area had seen a large increase in utility rates over the past couple of years, or a proposed utility rate increase.
So there was a very recent spike. A number of people having bills going from, $200 a month to $500 a month. It took a lot by surprise. I was even in conversation with like a church, for example, yesterday. Their bill this month went up by $4,000, which they were not prepared for. A lot of people didn't realize how big the NIPSCO hike was going to hit them. So what happened is that actually earlier in the year, our city council had done I believe it was a unanimous resolution that was sent to the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, essentially asking not to approve the latest NIPSCO hike. And let me see here.
Yeah, so high level, Austin, for our audience. Again, Austin Bont is our guest. He's the mayor of Portage. These utility rates are hitting your constituents. You and your city council said this is out of control. It's got to stop. We're going to fight this. You send this to the IURC, who is in charge of approving rate hikes. Is that right?
So that's history of what happened. What happened more recently, last week on Monday, July 28th, I did a pretty long Facebook post. I'm kind of known for doing that. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to explain to residents, because we've had so many call into City Hall or come into City Hall because a lot of people have a misconception that the city government has some regulatory authority over their electric bill. And we do not. It's a common thing that if somebody's got a problem with their electric bill, they might call City Hall, and then we got to explain who to actually call.
Right.
We've had so many of those complaints, and quite frankly, people being scared, call in. I did a Facebook post originally last Monday explaining two things. One is that even though I completely understand the concern and frustration and fear that some people have over this, I had to explain that the city government, local government, does not have that authority. When they're doing a rate hike, that's controlled by the IURC. The second thing I said is I mentioned that there is what I believe to be a growing movement in Indiana to get some legislation passed maybe next year to either add some elected members to that board. I've also heard proposals to make the entire board an elected body. And of course, that might come with its own regulations, ideas about who can run. But very shortly after I made that post online, Representative Edmund Soliday of the 4th District, which we are not in, the city of Portage is not in the 4th District, he sent me a text message. It kind of made some huge assumptions about my views and my reasons for thinking that we need that. But it ended with, and I'll want to make sure I quote this exactly, he said, "I promise I will work hard to make certain your city never gets any revenue increases." So to clarify, he never threatened to take away or withhold existing funds. That would certainly be frightening if an attempt like that were to happen. But the actual text was a promise to work hard to make certain we never get any revenue increases. So I guess whatever he can do to stop our city from getting money going forward.
Well, okay, so Soliday represents the area up there. He's not technically your representative there in Portage, but he represents the area, and he's the head of the utilities, right?
He is in the state legislature. He is the chairman of the Utility, Energy, and Telecommunications Committee, and a very I would say certainly a very influential member of the state legislature. I've been told by a number of people, yeah, that's the guy that you don't want to make mad. And
okay,
at the same time,
but what is he mad about? He's mad that you said, hey, the utility rates are kind of out of control, which I think most normal people would think, and we need some new way of policing. That's what he is mad at you about?
That's what bothers me about it. I mean, it looks like to me that to put it simply, if you're mad at me for saying that the rates are affecting people in a negative way, I don't know what to tell you. What bothers me and what I took from it is do not publicly criticize the IURC or do not advocate for reform to it. Otherwise, I will go after you. And that really is my trouble here. And it's like I told the city council, recently, for a member of the state legislature to have a personal disagreement with me or a disagreement with me over a political view, go after me all you want, but to take it out on a city, our funding, our public safety, literally the operations our people count on because you disagree with me about a state-level issue, I just can't. That's not acceptable.
Real quick, before Casey hops in here, I want to reintroduce our guest. Austin Bont is our guest. He's the mayor of Portage. We're talking about this text message that he received, or he said he received from Ed Soliday. He oversees utilities in the state of Indiana, the House of Representatives, threatening to essentially not give any additional money, new money, over what they currently have to the city of Portage because the mayor opposed massive utility increases. Casey.
Austin, I'm curious. 2 questions. What did NIPSCO say was the reason for the rate increase, and where do you go from here?
Yeah, so I mean, NIPSCO, they proposed the increase based on a number of different factors, and I want to make clear, I do not believe I'm the person qualified to comment on what a rate should be. Not trying to back out of that. I mean, as a resident, I'm very concerned about the rate increases and how they happened, but to me, this is really, NIPSCO's given no statement about this issue, by the way. But to me, what's really the concern here is a member of the state legislature threatening to use any authority he has to go after a whole city over a political opinion of one city official. Again, if this had to do with a response to an action taken by my city, it doesn't appear to be based on that resolution that the city council passed. It seems to be very much based on my statement. I just think we've got a serious issue in Indiana if people can be okay with that happening. You know what I mean?
Well, we've talked about the Soliday guy before. He's 9 million years old. We've talked about all the boneheaded decisions he's made. And I think this is the thing, Austin. You're entitled to whatever opinion you want on utilities or a government body, which the IURC is. You're entitled to think they're great. You're entitled to think they're awful. You're an elected person. Your job is to advocate for your citizens. And for him to send that sort of message to you, essentially threatening, like you said, future funds to your city, that is gross beyond belief.
And I will add, he has confirmed to the local media as of last night that he did send the text. He's got kind of a, I was very disappointed by his statement. He said that was a, quote, off-the-cuff remark, and it should not have been taken literally. And as I said last night, I just don't know how to take that metaphorically or figuratively. I don't know how to take. I promise I will work hard to make sure you get no increases. I just don't know how to take that as a metaphor.
Well, and it wasn't, and then I'll let Casey hop in here, but it wasn't just one sentence. He wrote multiple paragraphs to you. How could you say don't take it literally? He wrote, I'm looking at the thing that you posted on.
It was formatted. I mean, that took some effort. That wasn't, unless that was a voice text, I don't think it was. That looks very well, written. I wanted to make sure I got each point to you.
Austin, you haven't spoken to him since this, have you?
No, and actually, we have not spoken to each other a great deal. Even when he sent me the text, he was not somebody in my contact list. So when I first read that message, I had to call some people who I just knew to be more connected in, let's say, countywide area, politics. And I basically said, hey, if I gave you a number, could you look that number up and tell me if it's somebody in your contacts? And multiple times confirmed that was Ed Soliday. Then I went and confirmed it another way. To give you an idea, this happened not this Monday, but last Monday. So when I get a threat directed to the city, I'm not going to call somebody and try to negotiate that threat down. If this had been a personal attack or threat against me, that's kind of a different story and a more private story, right? If he had said, hey, I'm going to move to the city of Portage and run against you in the next election, or, hey, I'm going to go after your reputation, that can be something that I would take as a personal thing. At least that's my view of it. It's the fact that he made it about our city's funding that, after talking with a number of people, we decided I wouldn't be being a responsible mayor if I didn't disclose that to my city council and to the public that this threat was made against us.
Yeah, Austin, I think you're my new favorite local elected official because you did the right thing, which is just expose these people. These people at the State House are dirty, rotten people, and that's awesome that you put this out. There's been hundreds and hundreds of people share this. Even though you're all the way up in Portage, it ended up on our radar, and that's awesome, man. You got to fight fire with these dudes, and that's awesome that you exposed him, and thanks for being with us today.
Hey, I appreciate you guys for giving me the opportunity to speak and, of course, clarify the situation on our end, but also state that actions like this from a member of the state legislature, it's just totally unacceptable.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel's show back at it this afternoon. The biggest stories in Indy, and it's Bring the Heat Thursday. Rob Kendall off the rails. Tommy Lahren will join us. 93 WIBC.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. And they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
Going to the BMV or renewing your driver's license online? Your license could turn you into a lifesaver when you answer yes to this important question.
Would you like to sign up to be an organ donor?
That's because one organ and tissue donor can save 8 lives and heal countless more. Your yes at the BMV is a possible life-saving gift. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Donate Life Indiana.
Pat Sullivan here with an offer from my friends at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling that you don't want to miss. For a limited time, Hope Plumbing will buy back your old air conditioning unit for up to $1,500 with the purchase of a complete heating and cooling system. It's time to call them if you're hot. Don't wait for the next heat wave to be caught sweating at home. Act now before the offer ends. Stay cool and call Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
Luxury awaits you at Tom Roush Lincoln & Fishers. Come see the full line of breathtaking Lincoln vehicles at Indiana's premier Lincoln dealership. From the moment you arrive at Tom Roush Lincoln, you'll know you've arrived. Shop over 200 new Lincolns in our state-of-the-art family-owned and operated dealership with no pressure. Just the award-winning service and respect you deserve, plus complimentary pickup and delivery for service. Luxury awaits you at Tom Roush Lincoln & Fishers.
Addiction doesn't just affect one person, it touches everyone around them. That's why Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick created the Supporting Sobriety podcast. It's for the friends and family standing behind, offering hope, guidance, and real talk. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
So you got some data that shows the public is very aware of what's going on with the Epstein stuff.
Yeah, so it was a new survey that came out, and let me just see if I can find who did it. This was Ledger in collaboration with 338 Canada and
it just sounds legitimate.
Media.
All those people involved, it has to be legitimate.
So they said 84% of Americans are aware of the Epstein case. 45% believe Donald Trump is involved on some level. 29% disagree. 26% are unsure. 77% want all government documents related to it released.
Okay, what was the number again? What were the numbers again that you just read?
84% are aware of the case. 45% believe Donald Trump was involved on some level.
Okay, so 80% are aware of the case. 40% believe Trump is involved in some level. And what's
77% want all the documents released.
Okay. All right, the are aware and want the documents released. Totally check those. Okay. Now, when you say Trump was involved, I wonder what that actually means. And you get this in polling a lot, where it's sort of this open-ended question. I don't think that 40% of the public thinks Trump was on Epstein Island. Now, is Trump involved? Does involvement mean he's involved in a cover-up? I would certainly be open to hearing that and hearing that argument and buying that. This behavior over the release has been ridiculous. Was he involved in the sense of, was he involved with Epstein like I knew him and went to events with him? Absolutely. We know that. We now know they crossed paths on numerous occasions, but I think that's a massive stretch to say that Trump was in any way involved in any sort of illegal or activity with Epstein. I don't think there's been any proof of that.
Well, the line is almost half of respondents, 45%, believe Donald Trump was involved, while 29% disagree, 26% are unsure.
So they're saying he is essentially covering this up now because he was involved in some capacity.
Involved somehow, some way.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But the number, the 80% are aware, I would certainly believe. And the 77% want all the stuff released. Totally agree. The problem with all of this is we need the public to be as passionate as they are on Epstein and all these other issues. This is the problem, right? It gets media coverage. It's salacious. It's obviously just an abhorrent thing. And so the public engages. You need to engage in all the other stuff. If they did, we'd have a much better government.
The interesting thing about this poll is that it says 77% want all government documents related to the Epstein case released. Strongest support among Democrats, 85%. Okay, 85% want all documents released. Why didn't they do it?
Well, and the answer is clearly I think to many people, let me rephrase this. I think to many people, they believe that the answer is clear, and that is that there's stuff they don't want to get out.
Mm-hmm.
That there's information, whether it is that he being Epstein was acting as some sort of agent for a foreign government in some capacity that we have a relationship with, whether it is that there are high-profile people that would be foreign leaders potentially that we have relationships with that could be in trouble, high-ranking business people that are potentially major financiers of various campaigns and causes. You don't know. It could be a mixture of all of the things. But this is not normal behavior. There's no person walking the planet who is sympathetic to Jeffrey Epstein. There's no reason to not just take the biggest colossal dump on this guy imaginable and put all the information out unless there's someone or something you're protecting.
So Donald Trump was asked about this yesterday at the White House, and he said a dirty word.
Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw it reported today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation, and I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit. Okay? Yeah, please.
Okay. So, again, he is his own worst enemy. Epstein is not a hoax. Jeffrey Epstein is not a hoax. He was a real human being who actually lived. What Jeffrey Epstein did is not a hoax. He really did traffic young women for sexual abuse. We know that. Unless you think all these women and the evidence that was presented, why was he in a prison cell when he allegedly killed himself? Why was Ghislaine Maxwell convicted? If none of this happened, it's not a hoax. And so he demeans and really takes away any effective arguments he might have when he calls it a hoax. It is not a hoax. And this is what makes people so enraged. And then to act like you're trying to distract us from how successful our administration is, as though you're Reagan circa 84 and it's morning again in America. It's not. Some things are better in this country. The border is and immigration is so much better. He's doing a great job with that. But everything is still super expensive. We're hearing all sorts of reports now about jobs not going well. Foreign policy is still largely a mess. Some things are a little better, but it's not. This is not some great administration that's humming along and everybody's back to work. Well, I mean, everybody's working, but I mean, in terms of the jobs numbers, et cetera, this is not great right now. And so for him to say that and then always play the victim, it gets a little tiring.
So there was a report yesterday. Somebody came out and said that J.D. Vance was meeting with some high-level people, including Pam Bondi, and how they were going to start addressing everything with Epstein. And as you just heard, J.D. Vance came out and said, yeah, no, that's bad information. That meeting is never happening. It was never going to happen. Of course, we all know J.D. Vance was busy packing his bags because he's here in Indianapolis today.
Scheduled to be. He could be here right now.
Maybe he is. Well, there's a big, dark, black tarp in front of the governor's office, so you don't know.
And nothing says we're on the up and up like a big, giant tarp and going behind closed doors. Am I right?
Big material curtain is what it is.
It's just... these people are exhausting.
Well, we're going to continue to talk about Donald Trump because he had an announcement yesterday about chips and semiconductors. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Here's guns and money. Oh! Yeah.
There's something timeless about radio. It's where stories are told, ideas are shared, and communities stay connected. Our generation grew up with it, and we still believe in the power of tuning in. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe planning for retirement should feel just as familiar and trusted. That's why we're bringing real conversations and practical advice to the airwaves. Join us every Sunday at 9 p.m. for our Retire with Purpose Radio Hour, right here on 93.1 WIBC. We'll talk about what really matters in retirement, income you can count on, choices you can feel good about, and a future that reflects your values. Because some things, like good planning and good radio, never go out of style. Howard Bailey Financial, retirement planning that speaks your language. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com. The Retire with Purpose Radio Hour is a paid placement on each airing station.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace too strict.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, people now starting to gather at the State House this morning to protest the Vice President's visit. How one IndyCar driver is feeling about a post from Homeland Security, and the steps an Indiana congressman is taking in connection to a deep fake video involving his wife. Plus a preview of the Colts' first preseason game tonight. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
It's the day after the shooting at Fort Stewart in Georgia.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We do not want something like this to ever happen again on an Army base. And so if there are things we can do to improve safety, we will take those steps.
Army Secretary Dan Driscoll, after meeting with the 5 soldiers wounded in yesterday's attack, 2 remain hospitalized. He's also praising others as heroes.
They were unarmed and ran at and tackled an armed person who they knew was actively shooting their buddies, their colleagues, their fellow soldiers. Another soldier jumped on top of the person to subdue them until federal law enforcement was able to arrive.
Driscoll says justice will be done as Sergeant Cornelius Radford remains in custody awaiting charges. New U.S. tariffs on imports from more than 60 countries went into effect this morning, ranging from 10 to 41%. President Trump posted on Truth Social, billions of dollars are flowing in. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick tells Fox Business.
He thinks of his role as the peacemaker in the world and the creator of opportunity for America, and he's going to use all the tools in his toolbox to use it, and he hasn't ruled anything out.
Speaking of the president trying to make peace, Russia says a Trump-Putin meeting's been agreed to. The day before a U.S. deadline for leader Vladimir Putin to stop Russia's war in Ukraine or face new economic sanctions.
A venue has been selected in principle and have been agreed upon. That's according to Putin aide Yuri Yushakov. Now, that venue is going to be kept under wraps for now. This sit-down request was prompted by President Putin, who made the ask during a meeting yesterday with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, where great progress was made.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House. Dozens of Democratic Texas lawmakers remain out of state, blocking a vote on a congressional redistricting that could give Republicans 5 more House seats in the 2026 elections. GOP Senator John Cornyn said this morning the FBI has agreed to help track the Democrats down. They've been fined and Republicans are threatening to remove them from office. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The VP coming to Indy. 75 and sunny in downtown Indianapolis, a high of 89 today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Vice President J.D. Vance is in the capital city today, bringing high-level attention and tight security. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Traffic is starting to pick up this morning in Indianapolis along Capitol Avenue, and I'm standing right in front of the State House where Vice President J.D. Vance will meet with Governor Mike Braun and other Republican leaders to discuss many things. The reason that Vance is in town today is because of an RNC fundraiser, but the Trump administration is leading a nationwide push for states like Texas and Indiana to talk about redrawing their voting maps ahead of next year's midterms. Reporting from the Indiana State House, Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
IndyCar driver Pato O'Ward says he was caught off guard and didn't expect to see his car number tied to a post from the Department of Homeland Security. They posted a graphic promoting a new detention facility in Indiana called the Speedway Slammer. It'll be located just north of Kokomo. It features a number 5 Indy car plastered with ICE logos, the same number that O'Ward races with. The image showed a computer-generated race car on a track with a prison looming behind it. In Indiana, lawmakers confirming the Marion County Prosecutor's Office is investigating an alleged fake topless video of his wife performing during a charity event.
She is the victim in this. That's why, unlike other times when people say stuff about me or other politicians, that's fine, it's our job. But I'm here as a husband, and I want to get to the bottom of this.
Representative Craig Haggard of Mooresville said he wants whoever's responsible to be held accountable. Colts defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo says there's just as much competition brewing on defense as there is under center.
The good news is I believe we'll come out of it with a deep room. I want to be able to use those guys, whatever their strengths may be, to the best of our ability, and I feel like all of them at some point will help us.
Coaches will start to sort out the roster tonight as the Colts face the Baltimore Ravens in the very first preseason game. Anthony Richardson will start at quarterback. And Caitlin Clark is out again this evening as the Fever face the Phoenix Mercury to close out their road trip on the West Coast. Tip-off tonight, set for 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your your family's health insurance, it's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WYPC.
Okay, so we knew this was coming. I think we even kind of alluded to this yesterday on our program. The Speedway, the Motor Speedway, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You've heard of that before, right,
Yes.
Casey?
Driven by many times.
Yes, by the way, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. They are not happy about the Trump administration, this detention center that they're opening up in Miami.
Yep, at the Miami Correctional Facility.
Right, the Miami Correctional Facility, Bunker Hill, Indiana. For those of you who don't know, just get on 31. Just head and you'll basically run right into it. They are not happy about it being dubbed the Speedway Slammer, and I don't blame them, and I can't believe, first of all, how stupid these people are, given the fact that the thing is like an hour and a half away from Speedway, Indiana, and that they thought, hey, some nonpartisan group that is the world's largest race course and prides itself on welcoming all people in wasn't going to give you a little pushback on that.
Well, part of the problem is that DHS shared an AI-generated image, and it's of an Indy car, and it has ICE branding on it, and it had the number 5. Well, that's associated with Pato Award.
Right.
And so Penske Entertainment, which owns the Speedway, they stated they were not informed, and they requested that their intellectual property not be used. And the Department of Homeland Security said, nope, we're not going to change the branding. And all of these concerns over the intellectual property is absurd, and it's going to be branded as Speedway Slammer.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because one of the things, and I recognize that somebody's going to get big mad at me for saying this, but this doesn't come off as serious. Like the Alligator Alcatraz thing, whatever, it's sort of DeSantis brand, I guess. I don't know. But now when we're just coming up with nicknames for everything, and you're going out of your way to give it a nickname, it takes away from the seriousness of the issue and the stuff that is actually being done there. Now, look, somebody's going to get mad at me or saying this and saying, oh, you're being a wimp or blah, blah, blah. The immigration conversation should be as much about as winning the public over to your side as doing the job itself. And what I mean by that is it takes buy-in for public policy. It takes public buy-in for public policy to be sustainable. And so what I mean by that is in order to continue to build these facilities, expand them, make sure money continues to get allocated, the representatives, the people who are doing this, have to believe that the public at large is behind them. And I think the public is behind them in the sense of they want the job done. But the reality is probably 30% of the populace, if that, 30% of the populace is a hardcore MAGA, everything Trump does is great, everything Trump does is funny sort of person. There's a huge group of people, including people who voted for Trump, who just wanted the country changed. They don't want this stuff thrown in their face. They don't want things to be made light of like this because, yes, while there are going to be many dangerous people there housed at these facilities, there will also, there's a chance, be fathers and people who are not violent offenders or people who broke the law who need to go back. I'm not arguing that they need to be sent back, but you're dehumanizing. And I'm saying this is how people in the middle will view it. I'm not saying that's how necessarily we view it. We're tough, thick-skinned people here. But people in the middle who you need to win elections, who you need to keep the policy going, will view this as unserious behavior and unnecessarily dehumanizing many of these people, even if they believe they need to leave the country. And so by making everything some joke or some nickname or whatever, you run the risk of alienating the people you need to keep the policy going.
Why does it have to have a brand like Speedway Slammer? We all know it's 70 miles away from the Speedway. So it's not
even close.
It's not close to it. Why can't it just be called the Miami Correctional Facility? Like, does it have to have the Speedway Slammer moniker? And, when you think about the Speedway, that's a place you go to get your mind off of everything else. It's a place that you go to relax and have some fun and auto racing and enjoy yourself. And now you've got DHS taking a place we all love and turning it into a place that's very polarizing.
Yeah, and especially like the alligator Alcatraz or whatever that was. Hey, that was DeSantis' thing. He's on board. It's in the swamp. There's no branding with it in terms of there's not a legitimate, play. Like Alcatraz is a legitimate place, but I'm saying there's no commercial entity that you've got to have, approval of. It's just a bad look, and it starts to make, and this is one of the problems with Trump as president, is everybody's always trying to make everything so big and such a spectacle. They're trying to always, in everything done in a government under Trump, they're trying to make it Trump-esque. And the reality is, somebody told me this years ago when I first got elected, and I had all these big ideas, and he said, okay, these are nice. But he said, the most important things you're going to do are really boring stuff. Things like making sure faucets turn on, making sure the toilets flush, making sure that sidewalks are repaired.
It may sound boring, but when they're not there available to you, it's a huge deal.
Exactly. And people actually judge their communities, in the case of what he was talking about with me, on how do the nuts and bolts work. Like when you look at community surveys, all these communities do citizen surveys, and you used to see that where all the important things weren't the bright, shiny object stuff. It was the police, the fire, the water, the sewer, the roads, the bridges, the sidewalks. Like that's always what scored at the tippy top.
That's what matters.
And so in the sense of this, government is boring. The nuts and bolts of government. And some people need to hear this more than others. It ain't how flashy you can be. It ain't how many people you can get in front of. It isn't what a spectacle you make when you go somewhere. It's how do you manage the nuts and bolts of the things that you are in charge in, because government is actually a job. Government is actually a responsibility. And this is something that should be done. These people should be apprehended. They should be sent back to their countries of origin. It will make America a better, safer place. But you do it in a quiet, business-like, professional manner. You can give the stats out. You can talk about what you're doing. There's no problem with that. But when you're trying to make it some sort of a spectacle that many people, especially people who voted for you, will view as dehumanizing, you're doing yourself a disservice.
So the borders are Tom Homan. He said that he doesn't know who named the initiative, but hopes that the name doesn't overshadow the mission.
Exactly. And it will. And it will. People will know it by the name instead of the thing it's accomplishing. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a break because we've got a little bit of an extended segment with Nikki Kelly because we got so much to get to.
Sure.
We've got this redistricting stuff. Vance is here. We got this is a big story, these allegations of AI porn being viewed in the lieutenant governor's office. Ton of stuff going on with the state. Nikki Kelly from the Capitol Chronicle will join us next.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the Morning News. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You were blessed to have a home large enough to raise a family. But now the kids have been on their own for a while, and the house seems a little different. All those rooms are a bit too much to manage. Simple just seems better. Simple Quarters is a company that understands, and they can help you trade in your house for one that's a better fit for this point in your life. A lot of folks don't realize you can trade in your house like you can trade in your car. Simple Quarters will buy your house and help you transition into a new one all at the same time. No double mortgages or months of showing and stress. They streamline the process. Or they'll simply buy your house as is, and you can take the next steps on your own. Simple Quarters is a Christian company committed to making your real estate transitions easier. If you're considering downsizing, Simple Quarters offers both as-is home purchases and a convenient home trade-in option. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for LD Smith Plumbing. If your skin feels dry, your laundry's rough, or your dishes come out spotty, you're likely dealing with hard water. I've seen it in my own home, and a water softener truly makes a difference. Right now, Lance and his team are offering $750 off through the end of August. Your water will feel better, your appliances will last longer, and it's an upgrade that's definitely worth it. Call 317-927-7186 or visit ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
It was the heat of the moment, telling me what my heart meant. The heat of the
Casey, there's so much going on here in the state of Indiana.
I know. It's a lot, isn't it?
Every year a session ends and we're like, what will we talk about for the next 8 months? And then there's more stuff to talk about when the session is going on. We've got many things to get to here to help us sort through it. One of the best in the business. She runs the Indiana Capitol Chronicle, the great Nikki Kelly. Nikki Kelly, hello.
Good morning. Yeah, I didn't sign up for this. Like, it's her in an off-election year and can't catch our breath.
Nikki, this is supposed to be the slow season.
Right. We're supposed to be working on projects.
Yes, so, all right, dealer's choice. We got two big things to get to. You can choose. We can do AI porn first, or we can do, I never thought I'd be saying that to you, Nikki Kelly. We can do AI porn first, or we can do the redistricting. Where do you want to go?
Sure, let's start with porn.
You know, I've known Nikki Kelly for a long time, and I never, ever dreamed of all the years she's been coming on, Casey, she'd say, sure, let's start with porn.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys have done an expose on this with, obviously, Craig Haggard coming out and speaking. Of course, this relates to allegations that artificial intelligence pornography was viewed in the lieutenant governor's office, shared in the lieutenant governor's office, and it's like we're at a standoff now because two things can't be true. Beckwith claims he investigated and cleared his guys. LaBianco put the names out there, so he's basically put himself on the line that this happened. Like, where are we at with this? What do we make of all this?
Yeah, you know, I still haven't talked to anyone who's actually seen the video. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I haven't found anyone yet. And so I think the first thing the Marion County Prosecutor's Office is trying to do is actually determine if it exists, and then they'll try to figure out, you know, who made it, who had it, you know, and whether any criminal statutes were broken. Because I haven't been able to find it or see it, we were taking a little bit of a wait-and-see approach until the prosecutor's office got involved. And then, you know, it's its own story. Whether it exists or not doesn't even really matter if now it's become, you know, an investigation.
Okay, so this is where I'm stuck on, and Casey and I have talked about this out loud. You've known LaBianco for a while. You wrote for The Star. I'm sure you guys crossed paths.
Absolutely.
He lives in Maryland now. He covers national politics. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm so torn, and nobody can explain this to me, because the other side is like, well, this is a, you know, gotcha journalism or sensationalism or whatever. is there any logical reason that this guy sitting in Maryland, who has nothing to do with the state of Indiana now, would just wake up one day and go, you know who I'm going to get? I'm going to get the lieutenant governor of Indiana. I'm going to find 2 obscure workers in the office, and I'm going to fabricate a story around artificial intelligence, pornography. Oh, and I'm going to pick an obscure state rep, Craig Haggard, to name his wife as the victim, right? Like you have to believe all of those things, right, to believe it's made up in some sense.
Look, I mean, the fact is I don't know who his sources are, but, you know, it also could be that the sources made it up. Like, you know what I mean? You got to remember, I'm not saying they are, but I'm saying there are multiple different things that could be happening here. And so, you know, he was in town back in April to do sort of a feature profile on the lieutenant governor. He was kind of working with the Indiana Citizen for that, and I know he went to a town hall with Micah, sat down with the lieutenant governor. So he was working in this realm already. And he clearly still has sources from back when he was in the state.
You ever seen a story like this? You've covered, 25 years now you've been covering the State House. Have you ever seen a story like this?
Yeah, I mean, there are occasionally kind of crazy stories that pop up with crazy angles, whether it be sex scandals or, you know, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I mean, these things occasionally pop up, but, you know, getting a prosecutor involved because of the laws on deepfakes and non-consensual AI-generated videos, so that takes it to the next level, I think.
Nikki Kelly is our guest from the Indiana Capitol Chronicle. Okay, redistricting. J.D. Vance, I think he's going to be here soon if he's not already here at this point. He is in town seemingly to talk about that. What are you hearing about these conversations between Vance, the governor, and the leadership of the General Assembly?
Well, the leadership of the General Assembly has been refusing to talk about it for a couple of weeks now. I know that reporters have sent inquiries, and they're just, you know, ignoring them altogether. So I think they're going to sit and they're going to listen, but I haven't heard of any member who's like, yes, let's do this, let's get this done. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of caution, especially from, you know, I have to point out that Senator Rod Bray is an attorney, so he's always a little more circumspect on, you know, what you're allowed to do and following the, you know, quote-unquote rule of law. This hasn't happened, I don't think, since we went to decennial censuses. And so, you know, you'd have to really get past also the legal arguments of whether this is even possible due to the language in the Indiana Constitution.
So what have you heard about the sit-in that is happening at the State House, and will that affect anything going on with J.D. Vance?
I know that I've got a couple of reporters over there right now. They said there's a few people kind of gathering. I think the White House knows what's going on. There were signs downstairs. They've got plans for how the motorcades work and things like that. So, you know, they've already blocked off the governor's door so people can't see in it. So, you know, it'll be an interesting couple hours, right? You've got a public sit-in. You've got Democrats, including both Democrat congressmen, going to have a press conference at 12:30. Kind of in the morning there, we've got, you know, the vice president coming in at some point to meet with leaders and the governor. And so it's going to be an interesting day as the focus shifts now to Indiana and other states who are being pressured to do similar things in Texas.
Nikki Kelly is our guest from the Capitol Chronicle. We are discussing the redistricting. Okay, so can you explain to our audience, because you hit on something very, very interesting. We touched on it yesterday. You can't just willy-nilly make up a congressional district. There are very specific things that have to be proved and considered, which is why they only do it every 10 years. And if you just drew the districts not that long ago and said these are fair, how legally are they going to be able to potentially get around that, saying, well, what, now they're more fair than they were before? Can you talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, I'll address that twofold. First of all, when I mentioned legally, I meant whether it's even possible to have a mid-district census. The state constitution says very specifically that the General Assembly elected after the decennial census draws the district. So there's a question on that side. And then once you go there, you have to say, what could you get out of Indiana's maps? And I think everyone agrees that the most they could maybe pick up is 1 seat. And, they have to be contiguous. They have to have similar population levels. Our population's grown maybe not even 2%, I think 1.5%. So there aren't these massive population or migration shifts that they have to work with. Those people who think, oh, maybe they could get the 2nd in Indianapolis, the 7th, they would have to take so many votes from, say, Republican districts that border those, that then you put those in jeopardy. So it's sort of like a ripple effect. Mm-hmm. So 1 is, can you legally do it? And 2 is it possible to improve the map? And I use improve in the terms of for Republicans.
Do you, is the juice worth the squeeze? Right? That's what it comes down to. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Because they got to go to all this effort. Like you said, 1, the 1st congressional district is the one they would probably try to get. But how do you even do all of that? And then what's the backlash of doing that? And how much difference is 1 congressional district going to make?
Well, when the U.S. House is as tight as it is, 1 congressional district can be, the difference between major policy passing and not. But, yeah, it's a lot of political capital to burn, especially at a time when it would require special session. We're laying people off. We're cutting services for people. And yet, we were looking at the cost of the last special session we had for abortion. That was about 2 weeks, and it was $240,000. And, yeah, in the grand scheme of a $40 billion biennial budget, that's not massive, but it's the sort of principle of, why are we doing this? And I think if Republicans move that way in Indiana, they're going to have to come up with a cogent, argument about why it's necessary. And I at least haven't heard that argument yet.
Real quick before I let you go, when there is a special session, people have asked about this, and nobody would know this better than you. You can open up for whatever you want. Just because you went to talk about redistricting, anything could then pop up. Is that, I'm not saying it would, but it could, correct?
Yeah, anyone can file bills. Obviously, if Republicans are going to do a special session, because they have a supermajority, they control. They would just kill every bill, send it to rules, not let them have hearings. So they can easily keep it to 1 subject. But yes, anyone can file a bill in a special session.
She is one of the best in the business. You find her over at IndianaCapitalChronicle.com. Nikki Kelly, thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yep, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hello, we're here with a special guest, Jeff Jr., CEO of Trajan Wealth and filmmaker, behind retirement on the brink. Jeff, welcome.
Well, thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Jeff, you've been in finance for a long time. Why make a movie?
Well, after years of seeing people struggle, we needed better retirement education. And Retirement on the Brink, it offers real actionable insight.
Well, it's a documentary that's resonating with folks. I know it did with me.
Yeah, that's right. Real stories from real people as well as industry experts are featured in the film.
Many of our listeners have their own financial stories. Jeff, what's the biggest takeaway from Retirement on the Brink?
Well, retirement planning isn't just about numbers. It's about understanding your goals, creating a plan for the life that you want, and finding a trusted advisor to help. And I'll end by saying space is limited, so visit retirementonthebrink.com for VIP access and showtimes.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. DBA in most states has Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Struggling.
to maintain contact with the professional world.
Dr. Ferner of Indianapolis talks about why he got the new caption phone from Relay Indiana.
When I got the phone, it turned it around.
Go to RelayIndiana.com. That's RelayIndiana.com. And read up on the caption phone.
People that I talk with do not necessarily know that I have this service. It's a piece of cake.
Go to RelayIndiana.com to learn more.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Calling for a new census. Sunny skies, 78 in the Circle City. The high today, 89. I'm Jarrett Lewis. This is what's trending at 10:30. President Trump is demanding a new U.S. census.
President Trump says he's instructed the Commerce Department to immediately begin work on a new census that he says is based on modern-day facts and figures and information gained from the 2024 election. On his Truth Social platform, the president also says people in the country illegally will not be counted in the census. The census, required every 10 years, is essential to determining how many congressional seats are apportioned to each state. The 14th Amendment says the whole number of persons in each state is counted, and excluding residents without legal status could trigger court challenges.
Fox's Jared Halpern reporting. President Trump is also continuing with his crackdown on illegal immigration as DHS announced a new ICE detention facility in Indiana nicknamed the Speedway Slammer, located about 70 miles from Indianapolis Motor Speedway north of Kokomo. Indiana Governor Mike Braun joined Fox's America's Newsroom this morning saying it's time for a change.
All of us states have paid the price for open borders over Biden's 4 years. Now you'd expect most states to at least cooperate to take care of the worst first. Indiana's going to be one of them.
However, Democrats and immigrant rights groups argue these facilities are violating people's constitutional rights and forcing them into crowded, inhumane conditions. This follows the opening of Alligator Alcatraz in Florida earlier this year, which can hold 2,000 people at its facility. The Speedway Slammer is expected to have only 1,000 beds. As Vice President J.D. Vance is in Indiana today for a fundraiser and to meet with Governor Braun about possible redistricting in the state, the Texas Attorney General is now claiming a former Democratic lawmaker is illegally funding state legislatures who are breaking quorum by traveling to other states and avoiding a vote on new congressional district maps. Ken Paxton says these lawmakers that fled to Illinois are getting money from Beto O'Rourke's political organization. O'Rourke is the failed Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate, governor, and president. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
So, where's the lake?
Not here.
But it says Great Lakes Honda Fishers.
Right. I just don't see a lake.
Who needs a lake when you can lease a 2025 HRV LX all-wheel drive for $329 a month and $0 down?
That definitely won't soak our bank account.
Oh, it's the old Honda Fishers.
Great Lakes, great people, great cars.
But no actual lake.
Visit us off State Road 37 for special pricing during our summer sales event. With approved credit through Honda Financial. In-stock new Hondas only, not combinable with other offers. All fees due at signing. Loyalty or conquest rebates may apply. Offer ends August 31st. See dealer for details.
Lynn just loves the summer in Indy, but she's not going to spend it painting. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came, and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Now you can have the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have said they don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter because Rhino Shield has the 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
So an Indiana law involving the police was struck down. And Casey, we're not the sort of people to say we told you so, but I seem to recall numerous instances of us saying this is a horrible law and is not going to survive the courts.
Yeah, so the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit, they ruled that Indiana cannot enforce the 25-foot buffer zone law.
Now, as you know, my least favorite part of every program is where I have to go on these very powerful airwaves and
do the dance
and tell everybody how right we were. And look, it is kind of weird with all the attorneys in the State House, high-profile, high-priced attorneys, and making all this money in their private practices and that are helping write our laws, that some low-level bird lawyer here on the WIBC airwaves can look at something and go, yeah, that ain't gonna. I mean, how is it that I can get it more right than the budget projectors? How I can get it more right than all these attorneys? When they passed this law, so the law required people to remain 25 feet away from any sort of active police involvement.
Right, during official duties. The law actually said that police could tell people to stay 25 feet away.
If a cop wanted you to get closer, they could do that. But by the letter of the law, they could mandate you step back 25 feet. And I said, there is no way on a variety of issues, but the biggest one, and this is the one that went down, and the great thing about our radio program is you can go back and review old tapes if you desire to do that. I said, it is going to be very hard to equally enforce this. That's better known as the 14th Amendment. And I don't think this is going to stand. And boy, howdy, what won the day yesterday, Casey? What amendment did they cite in the Seventh Circuit throwing this thing out?
It was the 14th Amendment.
Boy, howdy. How is it that the low-level bird lawyer radio broadcaster could sit here and go, that's not going to work, and all of these uber smart attorneys, which I think Rod Bray, isn't he one? And I think there's a whole bunch of them over there. They didn't see this unfolding the way it's unfolded.
Okay, so what they're saying is that the law lacked clear guidelines. When an officer can invoke the buffer, how do you measure the 25 feet, and what constitutes official duty? They're saying that this is just arbitrary, and an officer could invoke the law just because they had a bad breakfast.
So let's talk about, that's what one of the judges cited. Let's talk about why this actually got done, because there's always the thing, but it's what's behind the thing, and this is why our governance is so bad. I was talking with Nigel in the back, and we were talking about that interview we did with Austin Bonta, who's the mayor of Portage, who laid out how Ed Soliday, who's the head of the utilities in the House, sends him this threatening text message, basically threatening to withhold any new extra monies for his city.
Cut off the city.
Because he was critical of the IURC, the process by which utilities can raise rates. And I said, Nigel, think about that. That's the guy, on top of being 9 million years old, which Ed is, that is in charge of public policy. You think anyone that he doesn't like or care for is getting equal
kiss the ring, or you're out.
Right. I said, this is why our governance is the way it is, because guys like that who have so little self-control and are so elitist and self-absorbed, they don't care about truth. They don't care about right. They care about what they want, period. So this law, which was so poorly written, that the midday guy on WIBC with no legal training whatsoever could look at it and go, it ain't gonna work. But these lawmakers, they didn't care about what was right. They don't care about the law. They don't care about what's going to pass muster. It was passed at a time, 2023, where there's this clear, hey, we think we can score political points against the Democrats because they're so anti-police, which they are, by crafting a law that says we're going to show you how pro-cop we are by making this law that says, look, cops, we'll give you all this room to do your job. Look at these evil, villainous protesters that we saw during the riots. Now you can really stick it to them. Who loves you, baby? It's the Republicans. No interest in going, is that right? Is that going to pass muster? Is that going to hold up? And there's other grounds. This is important to realize. This law is being challenged on numerous grounds. This is just one area in which they ruled and threw it out. There's others like freedom of the press, which I think it will probably go down on too, that are yet to be adjudicated, where it could go down again. And so it really is an insight. It's always the thing, which is a bad law, which it's being toppled right now based on this ruling by the Court of Appeals. But it's also the bigger lesson for you, the audience, is the how the stuff gets done and why it gets done. And this is another example of our lawmakers not doing what's right. They're all attorneys. How could they all be this wrong, right? Apparently you shouldn't be using these people as your attorneys if they can't get this right. Consult your legal professional for all legal needs.
Sure.
Trained legal professional.
Right.
But they're doing something just because it's politically expedient to do, and now it's, as of right now, dunzo in the courts. Now, obviously, it could go to the Supreme Court, it can get appealed, and blah, 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 and it probably will, but it's just, it shouldn't be this difficult.
So you're right. The Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press, they challenged the law on behalf of media organizations. They said that it caused irreparable harm to journalism. Well, you know who's causing irreparable harm to journalism? Many times it's the journalists or the news directors themselves. However,
but 25 feet, Casey, think about how long that is. So, I don't know, how tall, Kevin, can you look up real quick for me, how tall is Tyrese Halliburton? Can you just look that up? It'll probably tell you very quick in the Google search. They're using all those.
6'5".
He's taller than 6'5".
Let's see if there's any other sources.
No way.
Here.
He's got to be taller than 6'5".
Yeah, 6'5".
No kidding. We'll operate off that. Okay, Tyrese Halliburton. So 25 feet is 4 Tyrese Halliburtons.
Right.
Like, that's how far it is. If you took, that's even perfect. That worked out even better. Sorry, Kevin, I didn't mean to impugn your integrity in any sense. He just seems taller than that. Anyway, if you took 4 of Tyrese Halliburton and you stretched him out, that's how far this is. There's no way you can say a cop's in danger if you were 3 Tyrese Halliburtons away. I mean, get out of here.
maybe 2 Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay, that's 12 feet. 12 is, but again, it's the enforceability of it. It's so poorly written.
So the ACLU of Indiana, they argued that the law infringes on the right to observe and record police,
Well, that's another big thing, and that's another area it's being
which would
appealed
limit
on.
their accountability.
Right, is that, hey, everyone's a citizen journalist now, or has the potential to be a citizen journalist with a cellular telephone in your pocket. And how many times have we seen police interactions? And look, let me again phrase this, specify this. God bless our cops. God bless our law enforcement people. God bless those people who are willing. I'm not talking about this like as some anti-police thing. I'm talking about it's just simply bad public policy that wasn't going to hold up in a court of law, and now it has been struck down in a court of law. And none of us, police, regular people, firemen, anybody, should want that. We should want public policy that's going to follow the law, follow the Constitution, be able to be upheld. And because they went so aggressively on this, something that might have been a closer distance that could be upheld or wouldn't have been challenged is now not going to be the law, which would make your jobs easier.
Something else that happened yesterday, the acting NASA administrator, do you know who that is?
Well, Buzz Aldrin.
The acting NASA administrator was just announced within the past couple weeks.
Oh, is it Duffy?
Sean Duffy, very good.
Hey, that's right, because he's the transportation guy too, isn't
He
he?
is,
That's
he
so
is.
wild that he's NASA, and it took me a minute to figure
He's
that
like
out.
Marco Rubio, right? They get so many different jobs, you can't keep track of them.
Buzz Aldrin even still alive? Let's see here. Isn't that wild that that's the first name I went through? It's like Buzz Aldrin, first astronaut you think of. Who would you say? Buzz Aldrin is still alive. He's 95 years old. Okay, if you were to say, tell somebody, name an astronaut, it'd be Neil Armstrong. Is that right?
Yeah.
Would Buzz Aldrin be number 2?
Probably.
Yeah. Or the, yeah, that'd probably be right. Anyway, yes, because that was crazy that the transportation administrator, secretary, or whatever they call it.
He's now the acting
also in
NASA
charge of
administrator.
things going into space.
Yeah,
That's great.
he issued a directive to accelerate development of a fission-based nuclear power source for the moon.
Oh, right. That's gonna be
they said the
great.
project is being prioritized due to national security concerns and international competition, and it's an America first thing.
So we're going to end up blowing up the moon.
We want to be the first one on the moon. So they've got a timeline for this. By August this month here, NASA says they're going to appoint a new executive to lead the effort.
That's
so
good. Oh, yeah.
Sean Duffy can just focus on transportation. By September, they expect proposals from potential contractors.
Oh, somebody's going to get rich off of this. What do you want to bet that person might have given money to somebody in the government? What do you want to bet, Case, when we see who ends up winning the big golden ticket?
Now, by March of next year, 2 finalists will be awarded contracts to build and install the system, and the target launch date will be fall of 2030.
I have an idea. Now, stay with me on this.
Okay.
And this is a radical idea.
Yeah.
And if I'm totally out of bounds here, you smack me back into line. Are you ready?
Yeah. Leave it alone.
Well, how about we just focus on the price of food?
Yeah.
Can we, before we start putting nuclear reactors on the moon, can we just focus on the price of food and the gas and make living? How about living affordable here on Earth?
Yeah.
How about we focus on affordable living here on Earth before we focus on putting things on the moon? Does that make me some sort of crazy person who should be institutionalized, Casey?
No, I don't think so.
Speaking of crazy people who should be institutionalized, how about that for a segue?
Hammer's up next on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, Trump wants to redo the census. Oh, it's on. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Don't let pneumococcal pneumonia break your stride. If you're 50 or older, you're at increased risk. So be proactive with Capvaxive pneumococcal 21-valent conjugate vaccine to help protect against invasive pneumococcal disease and pneumonia caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive helps protect against the strains of bacteria that cause about 30% more IPD cases than any other pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in adults over 50, according to national-level CDC stats. Regional variations may exist. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Capvaxive does not protect against all strains. For more information, call 1-800-927-8888 or visit capvaxive.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Need help paying for your Merck vaccine? Visit merckhelps.com. Sponsored by Merck.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
Fostech is the family-owned business that makes incredible firearms right here in Indiana. Fostech, created by 2 career firefighters and 1 U.S. Air Force veteran, they create special, unique firearms. American craftsmanship meeting cutting-edge technology. Their Origin 12 shotgun is the envy of the industry, and all their products are designed, machined, assembled, and tested right here in Indiana. Follow Fostech on Facebook and Instagram at Fostech_INC. Find a dealer near you, or visit Fostech.com. That's Fostech. Fostech.com. Use promo code WIBC for 10% off your order.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year, or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joyner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana, and the best place to start is JoynerHomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joyner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes, and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joyner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at JoynerHomes.com.
Think of it as WIBC on 2x speed. Big opinions, great moments, and just enough chaos. The WIBC Mashup Podcast brings it all together in one fast, fun listen. New episode each weekday. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast.
Well, the Colts kick off the season tonight.
And somehow Anthony Richardson's already been picked off.
And in his Colts attire, Mr. Indianapolis, one half of the Hammer and Nigel radio program. Jason Hammer, hello.
Quick public service announcement for your audience.
Yeah.
Something I encountered on my drive in. The exit ramps, the on-ramps for 70 near the airport closed for the arrival of J.D. Vance.
It's super cool that they've inconvenienced an entire city so that they can further rig the elections. That's very nice of them, isn't it?
He was actually asked about that moments ago. Kevin, do you have that audio? Yeah, here's J.D. Vance in the State House. He's walking down a hall right now.
Oh, that's compelling radio.
Well, here it comes.
Washington, Indiana redistrict. What are you going to tell the governor, Mr. Vice President?
And no answer.
Go away.
Feels like I just listened to Abdul's show on the weekend there. Unedited audio where you don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, so nothing says transparency like running behind some closed doors to talk about how you're going to make it more rigged to vote in the state of Indiana. That's just brilliant.
But at the same time, like, yes, I would have answered it, but I'm pompous and I'm over the top. Like, if he stopped to answer every single person that yelled a question out at him.
Sure, but it's the fact that they're going behind some allegedly some tarped off area. It's like, if you're going to talk about how you're going to affect 7 million people, have the conversation out in front of everybody. Don't go behind some closed door and come up with your new goofy little map to rig it in favor of your political party because y'all can't win elections based on governing competently. Tell us how you're going to screw us out in public.
So you're saying that you had a difficult time getting into work today because of that?
So 70 over by Sam Jones, the artist formerly known as Airport Expressway, shut down.
So
like you
well
couldn't
done.
even get on it, right? Yeah. So, all right, fine. So I go down a little bit further because I'm Southwest side, and I hit Washington Street. It's like, okay, I'll take Washington Street in. You get to a point to Washington Street where road closed ahead due to construction. Well, son of a you-know-what. So now I got to backtrack, come all the way back, pass all the exits that I'm not allowed to get on, and find an alternative way downtown, Casey.
Yeah, it's really easy to get downtown right now.
Remember when living used to be easy?
I mean, this construction right now is so ridiculous. I have lived in Indy my whole life. I'm a lifer here. I've never seen so many places under construction at once where there's no hope of it getting done anytime soon.
Right.
Like Illinois Street is totally shut down because of government-funded hotel. But at least they're working on that. That thing's going up like a rocket ship. Look at the monument out here. Well, you can't, Rob, because you refused to put the window up, but...
Oh, I put the American flag up. What a horrible person that I hang our nation's colors behind me.
That's not why you do it. You want the perfect lighting on your face because you want all the attention.
Actually,
Stop it.
Carl does it all. Carl's really in charge of all of that, and, well, we'd be worse off without Carl. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
But this damn thing's been under construction for like 3 years.
Yes, that's great.
There's nobody ever working. It's like a running joke we have in the afternoon. We get here at 3 o'clock, look out the window. It's a beautiful, partly cloudy, 79-degree day, and there's nobody out there working.
Yeah, somebody told me this years ago in a government meeting about traffic. They said the goal of anything you're doing as it relates, whether it's speed limit signs or signs of businesses or whatever, is to keep the traffic moving, because as long as you're moving, even if it's at 5 miles an hour, there's always hope as a motorist. You see road rage when there's no hope of movement, and they have created a level of despair and hopelessness in downtown Indianapolis, the likes I have never seen before.
Well, look who the mayor is, right? And you've said this before, Rob. The job of a mayor, in theory, is pretty simple, right? You keep your roads and your infrastructure taken care of. You make sure the trash gets picked up on a timely basis, and no scandals, no embarrassment.
Whoops.
We're 0 for 3 on a Boss Hogsett there because the trash in my neighborhood, we're lucky if it gets picked up on a Friday.
Yeah, the four things that a mayor is supposed to be responsible for. Everything else is just shenanigans. You judge your mayor based on these 4 things. You can throw in the scandals as the 5th one. You got the roads. How the roads doing?
Crap.
Not great.
Awful.
You
Not
got
good.
You got the snow removal. How's it?
Not good.
You got the public safety. You feeling safe downtown these days?
Record homicides under Joe Hogsett.
And then the trash. And I can't speak to the trash, but you have experience with the trash. How is the trash?
About as good as the crime.
Oh.
So there you go. It's a 0 for 4. What do they call that? The
golden sombrero. If a Major League Baseball player goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, it's called the golden sombrero.
Joe Hogsett is the golden sombrero of mayors of Major
Now, you had mentioned Washington Street, and that's the street I would typically take to get from my house to the radio station. Many detours under construction.
Sure.
Okay, so I got to go a different route and take Michigan now to get into work. And, of course, everybody is taking the detour, so there's a huge backup. Yesterday, on my way into work, I landed right on the train tracks. And I sat there. And I looked both ways. I thought, this is not good. This is not good.
I'm going to be somebody's show prep here.
I really hope these cars start moving.
I've always said, when my time comes, when it's time for me to meet my maker, I hope it's such a wacky, crazy death that I'm somebody's show prep. I want to pay it forward. For all the years that I've had ridiculous stories given to me, I want to be somebody's ridiculous story.
Could you do it naked so at least you can be a lewd nude
Yeah, I was
dude?
just going to say.
One last lewd nude dude in the news, and it's me.
Okay, so you got your Colts shirt on. The Colts kick off the preseason tonight. Are you excited about the Colts? Give me an honest assessment of the team this year.
Not good. I placed a future bet that the Colts would finish third in the division.
Oh, wow.
I got plus money on that.
Oh, wow.
Plus 250 for them to finish in third place.
So they got to beat one of the teams but lose to two others.
Right, so I feel like the Texans will be one.
Yep.
The Jags, if healthy, are two.
Oh, wow.
Followed by the Colts, and then the Titans with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
So if the Colts finish in third place in the AFC South, as a Colts fan, not going to like it, but as a gambling degenerate, I'm going to make some money.
So you got no faith, obviously, in Richardson, and then no faith in the backup, Daniel Jones, the high-priced guy they brought in to be the backup.
My options are a guy that tapped out of a game because he was tired, and a guy that couldn't start for the Giants. This is where my fandom has met a crossroads, right? Like, man, in the past, I'd be so excited for tonight. Hey, first Colts game. I know it's preseason garbage, but at least for the first 10 minutes, I'm going to be excited. I think maybe I'm still a little heartbroken from the Pacers. Like, the Game 7 with the injury and the way that it happened hasn't sat well with me.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time getting over this breakup. Man, yeah, I'm just not feeling this quarterback situation. I think it's the worst quarterback room in the league, and keep in mind the league has the Cleveland Browns in it.
So you have no faith that that's just going to click with this dude this year with all these tools we've heard about Richardson and a blah blah blah. You have no faith that this is the year.
I don't. Now, I hope he proves me wrong. If he proves me wrong, I will come on here and say, hey, I was wrong. Man, the Richardson kid figured it out. But I follow a lot of SEC football. I'm a Vols guy. Richardson could not pass in college.
Yeah.
He's got a cannon for an arm. He'll throw the deep ball to Alec Pierce, and you guys are going to love it. But he can't move the chains on third down. He can't read a defense. He can't make the basic throws. At least he can't as of his entire college through pro career so far.
What are we doing this afternoon? What's going on?
Man, it is Bring the Heat Thursday on the Hammer and Nigel show. We've got Tommy Lahren. We've got Rob Kendall. We've got myself. And a new Degenerates Next Door sports betting podcast will drop around 1 o'clock.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Open the lid on a carton of Bluebell Homemade in the Shade, and you'll have it made, so to speak. It's a combination of our top-selling homemade vanilla ice cream with a swirl of rich chocolate fudge sauce. Enjoy an instant classic.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your favorite grocer. If you can't find it, please ask for it.
Don't miss the biggest Lazy Boy, Flex Deal, and Mattress blowout sale of the year at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Hey, this is Spencer Thompson, and now through Monday, save 50% off all Lazy Boy and Flex Deal. Save up to $800 off premium mattresses, plus interest-free financing, free delivery, and cash discounts. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hey, this
This is Malia. We often get asked when is the best time to buy, and the answer is today, not tomorrow. With rising utility costs, rising product costs, and missed opportunity costs, which you could be saving with a high-efficiency system. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-depth estimate, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
Nobody likes a cold shower. LD Smith has hot deals on water heaters. Save up to $300 on a new water heater install.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest. Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
In 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, where hundreds of people have now gathered to protest the visit of the Vice President. What Governor Mike Braun is saying about possible redistricting and the Speedway Slammer. A new proposal from Republicans on the Indianapolis City County Council, and what Caitlin Clark continues to do while sidelined with her injury. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
He's getting Israel ready to take over Gaza. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is out today with an interview with Fox exclusively, and he says what they're trying to do in Gaza is get rid of Hamas and trying to get the Security Cabinet to approve the plan.
They can rid themselves of this awful tyranny that not only holds our hostages, but holds 2 million Palestinians in Gaza hostage. That's got to end.
Hamas still has 50 hostages, 20 of them believed to be alive as the U.S. and Israel try to get more food in, as Israel faces international criticism over Palestinian starvation. The day before a U.S. deadline for Russia to stop the war in Ukraine or else face new economic sanctions, reports out of Moscow say leader Vladimir Putin and President Trump have agreed to meet in the coming days. The soldiers who stopped a shooting at Fort Stewart in Georgia only about 24 hours ago are being hailed as heroes.
The fast action of these soldiers under stress and under trauma and under fire absolutely saved lives from being lost.
Army Secretary Dan Driscoll also met this morning with the 5 soldiers wounded. 2 remain hospitalized as the accused gunman, Sergeant Cornelius Radford, remains confined awaiting charges. President Trump is calling for a new census immediately that Fox's Jared Halpern reports from the White House.
He says is based on modern-day facts and figures and information gained from the 2024 election. On his Truth Social platform, the president also says people in the country illegally will not be counted in the census. The census required every 10 years is essential to determining how many congressional seats are apportioned to each state.
Speaking of that, some Texas Democratic lawmakers remain out of state, blocking a vote on congressional redistricting that could give Republicans 5 more House seats in the 2026 elections. GOP Senator John Cornyn says the FBI has agreed to help track those lawmakers down. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're not happy he's in town. The skies are sunny. It's 81 in the Circle City. The high today, 89. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Indiana Republican leaders are meeting with Vice President J.D. Vance in Indianapolis today, while some Democrats are holding a sit-in to protest his visit.
People that say they're associated with the Democrat Party are filing into the Indiana State House today. If the Vice President were in front of you right now, what would you tell him?
Leave our state alone.
This is all in opposition to Vice President J.D. Vance's visit with Governor Braun and other Republican leaders.
The whataboutisms need to end. If one plays dirty and the other continues to play dirty, eventually you're going to have to understand that all of that is wrong. So either you can acknowledge that and we can cease this now, or it's only going to get uglier and snowball.
That's Angel reporting from the State House. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Vice President Vance in town for a fundraiser with those Republican leaders, including Indiana Governor Mike Braun. There will likely be discussions about redistricting in the state. This comes as President Trump has called for Republican-led states to redistrict ahead of the midterm elections. Unlike Texas, Democrats in Indiana cannot stop a special session by refusing to attend, as Republicans hold a supermajority in the Indiana House and Senate.
I'm going to be listening to JD today and our 2 leaders of the legislature as well, and we're going to have that discussion.
While on Fox's America's Newsroom, Governor Braun also talked about the Speedway Slammer, saying states have to step up to help with immigration efforts and detaining criminal illegals. The detention facility will be located at the Miami Correctional Facility in Bunker Hill, just north of Kokomo. The Indianapolis City County Council is considering a stricter juvenile curfew with fines for parents of children who violate the rule. The proposal, a 120-day measure, would set new earlier curfew times and is aimed at increasing parental accountability. The plan heads to a full council vote in September. Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White says Caitlin Clark is learning and absorbing from a different perspective while she sits out injured on the sidelines.
Our job is to reintegrate her and allow her to do what she does best, and hopefully some of absorbing some of that, being around our coaches, sitting by our coaches on the bench, listening to some of the things that we're talking about, some of the things that we're looking for. Just hopefully it gives her a different perspective.
Clark out again this evening with an injured groin. The Fever will face the Phoenix Mercury to close out their West Coast road trip. And the Colts are in action for their first preseason game of the year. Tonight they'll take on the Ravens in Baltimore with Anthony Richardson starting at quarterback. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Mike loves summer in Indy, but he hates to paint. So he called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. And right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
The thing about the Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So are you telling me that Elon Musk is the most disliked public figure in America, according to a poll?
I'm not telling you that. That's what the Gallup poll conducted. They said that. Those were their findings. 61% of Americans have an unfavorable opinion of Elon Musk.
Okay, so Gallup did a poll. They didn't ask, like, do you dislike Elon Musk more than any other public figure in America? But by score, the most amount of negatives, he would win in that.
Correct.
In that category.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only 33% view him positively. 6% had no opinion. How can you have no opinion? I don't know.
Well, all right, so how does Elon Musk really, I mean, if we look at this, and our audience would look at this because they're into the news. They follow what's going on with politics, with their government, in society. So, of course, you're going to know who he is. But how does Elon Musk directly, now, obviously, the government contracts, the things he's doing, the technology, it will potentially, eventually impact you in some shape, form, or fashion. But in terms of your day-to-day existence, what does Elon Musk really do that you would say that you would need a reason if you don't follow the news to think about him on a consistent basis?
You're right. Probably not. I mean, what does Musk do for you? Well, not much now, especially since he's no longer with the Department of Government Efficiency, right? When he was working with DOJ, that short-lived involvement in the Trump administration, you could say, hey, you know what? He's saving me money on some level.
Right, but again, then you got to follow the news, and you got to follow government, you got to follow politics, and you always get those polls about people who can't identify their governors or senators or whatever, and a lot of people, even people who know who he is, he's just some rich eccentric guy who builds cars and rockets, right? I do find it interesting that he had the highest negativity score, because I just don't what has he really done that you would say, that's part of it too is, and I blame this on the public education system. Well, the education system is a collective. People have no idea how society actually works. Like, everybody will go to the grocery store and go, this is abhorrent how much food costs. But they have no idea why food costs that much. Well, the answer, one of multiple answers, but a major player in it is the government has printed so much money because of bad government that dollars are worth less. Well, the obvious answer to that would be get rid of the bad government, which would make things potentially costless if you're not printing as much money, which should make people happy, but they're not capable because they haven't been trained on how to do it. They're not capable of thinking that through. So they see, well, Elon Musk took some nice guy's job, or Elon Musk, denied some person their food stamps, or, whatever. He's a horrible human.
Well, you got to think Elon Musk is getting hit from both sides, right? Because obviously he had that very public falling out with Donald Trump after he accused Trump of being named in the Epstein files. And then you have the Democrats who were very upset with him. In fact, he had a negative 86 net favorability rating just among Democrats. So you put the two together, nobody likes the guy.
Okay, here, I get this all the time, though. And this is how let me give you this is perfect timing. Okay. You don't even know about this.
Okay.
A real world example.
Yeah.
I get this all the time from people who are mad at me for telling you how it's going to work or it's going to happen, right? And just because you don't like the result, it ain't my fault. I'm not a decision maker. Last hour, we talked about that law that the state of Indiana passed that made it 25 feet. You couldn't, if the cops wanted to enforce up to 25 feet from them doing their job, they could keep you from that, and that was the law. And I said, look, the moment that law was passed, we said on these airwaves, that is going to fail in court for a variety of reasons, and now for one of them, the most prominent of the 14th Amendment.
Court of Appeals struck it down.
Struck it down.
Can't do that.
And I said, it was a poorly written law. I knew when it was written, just like when they fake came after Holcomb on the emergency power stuff. And they wrote a law that Abdullah and I said at the time, that is going to fail. That is a law that is designed to fail. It will fail. And it did fail in court. We said the same thing about this. It's a poorly written law. It's deliberately vague. It was done that way for political reasons so they could rah-rah with the police rather than write a good law that could pass. And it failed. Don't blame me for that. I was right. Why are you mad at me? Here's the email I get from Debbie. By the way, here's how Debbie signs her, what do they call that? Her signature line, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
My goal is to exceed your expectations.
Okay.
So that's on her signature line, and this is the email she sent me. Can't believe you're supporting the law being shut down about distancing from police. That should have gone through. There's no reason these street idiots need to have their cameras out and be in back of the police while they're trying to help people. It's endangerment. They have no business being around an active police scene. My goal is to exceed your expectations. Debbie. And so I will read you my response to her because I deal with this all the time where you're angry at me for telling you how it's going to go down. They wrote a bad law, but you're mad at me. I said, 25 feet isn't an active police scene, and clearly the court disagreed, as we said they would. You shouldn't be mad at me for the lawmakers writing a law that many people believe was poorly written and would get overturned. But yeah, it's sort of like the same thing with Musk.
Yeah.
You're mad about the price of food. They're doing it. He's trying to fix it. He's telling you what's going. And now you hate him because Harold lost his job in the process.
Yes. So Tesla saw a 16% drop in their net income, 12% revenue decline, and a lot of people are saying that it's caused a broader decline in public perception of not only him, but also electric vehicles. Now, let's talk about some of the other people that were on this list.
Can I say something real quick, though?
Yeah.
Debbie, you did not exceed my expectations. I just want to get that on the record since I know she's probably still listening. And real quick, I did want to say...
she said it was her goal, not that she was going to. There's no guarantee.
Well, I'm letting her know that she did not exceed my expectations. In fact, you underwhelmed me.
Oh, okay.
You underwhelmed my expectations. Okay, so real quick, I just want to say this, though. What happened to Elon Musk is why good people don't get involved, especially successful people, with trying to help society through their government. And I've told this story before, but I will tell it again. When I was an elected person, there was a board that there was a local dentist in town who would be perfect for it. My whole goal when I was elected, clean out all the good old boys, all the old timers, bring new people in. If I get younger people, it'd be great. And there was a beloved dentist in town, and I was like, this guy would be perfect for this thing. So I went to him, and I said, you would be perfect. You have the skill set that is totally applicable to this. We need new people. You'd be great. And he goes, well, okay, but I really don't want to do something that's going to potentially harm my practice. I was like, no, it'll be fine. Like, this stuff is very cut and dry. I mean, you'll have to do some maybe controversial stuff, but it'll be fine. He did the thing. he did the right thing. And because it involved a thing that made the school system mad, you know what they did?
What?
People started going in there and going, you, because they heard from the tippy top people without having any knowledge whatsoever about what the guy was actually doing or how it was going to be beneficial or that he did the right thing. You hurt the children. We're not going to use you as the dentist anymore. Well, who told you that? Well, so-and-so told me that. What did I do? So-and-so said, and he looked at me and he goes, I told you. I told you I didn't want to do this for this reason. You told me it'd be no big deal. Of course, I might have stretched the truth a little bit because I really wanted him on that board. But he goes, okay, my term's up at the end of this year. I'm out of here.
Right.
Even though the guy was really good, he did the right thing. It was beneficial, but he had to deal with all this crap and people threatening his business for simply doing the right thing.
Well, it's not only that, it becomes dehumanizing, and you have to give up your own integrity many times to play the game, and good people don't want to do that. So some more people that were on the list here. Now, Elon Musk, he fell behind the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu in popularity. He also trailed behind Pope Leo XIV by a big margin. So some other...
So who is number one? Is there
Pope Leo XIV?
The Pope is the most popular person.
Yep.
Now this Pope, excuse me, you are the residential Catholic expert of this radio program. This Pope thus far has not really said or done anything that is remotely divisive or controversial like the last Pope, right? He's been pretty just hitting fairways and greens at this point.
Yeah, I believe so. He just had a big thing in Rome where there were like 1 million youth that came in to hear him speak. And he seems to be very popular.
Somebody gave him, this is great, he was at some event and somebody gave him a shirt that said "Da Pope" on it because, of course, he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
And that's the Bears and the Saturday Night Live skit. But what I'm saying is the last two popes on the what most people perceive to be on the left side of the aisle have seemed to have gone out of their way to wade into issues that sort of divided people amongst how they felt about the Pope. This guy seems thus far to be pretty much, like I said, fairways and greens, make a lot of pars, don't make anybody mad, just sort of do what we sort of associate with basic. How about this for some phraseology? Basic popeness.
I thought you were going to say popeism. He had a favorability rating of plus 46. Now, somebody else who was also positive on this list, and when I saw this, I thought, wait a minute, this is from the Gallup poll.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, oh boy, they're getting partisan here. Maybe not. Vladimir Zelensky from Ukraine, also net positive, plus 18. Bernie Sanders, plus 11. But then you had
Bernie Sanders
plus 11, yes. But then you had some people who were on the negative side.
Wait, time out. So let's explore that for a second. And we're going to run a little long in this segment, but that's fine. Okay. Bernie Sanders has run twice for president and can't even get out of his primary. Yet we're led to believe he's this overwhelmingly popular guy. If he's so damn popular, see, this is why all this gets called into question for me. Why can't he win an election, not even a general election, the primary, if he's so popular enough? Because we always hear this about Bernie Sanders, yet he can't win.
Yeah, and he's got to go on his fundraising tours, right? Now, he did that with AOC. She was in the negative. She's -4 for being one of the more popular people in America.
AOC is bad.
-4.
There's too many numbers. Okay, that's because... Why is that? Because she's just as obnoxious and as mouthy as Sanders is. Why is that? What is that? Why would somebody... Kev, you're a young person. You fill me in on this. Why would your idiot friends be in favor of Bernie Sanders but not AOC? Help me understand this. What's the difference? They're the same person, just 50
in a
years,
different package.
50 years. What a great description. Why is this?
I mean, he ran for president, so I feel like he's got a little more notoriety among the common folk.
Is he less obnoxious than her? Because she is... I mean, he's ridiculous.
I think they're both obnoxious.
Yeah, but he's almost like a cartoon. Like you could put him in a sitcom.
Like he's a little bit lovable?
Well, I'm saying, like he's such a joke or such a character that people almost don't
take him seriously, where you think she really is trying to be serious.
Yeah, she's a vicious mother. Yeah.
She's full of some hypocrisy as well, saying that she grew up in the Bronx and everybody knows.
So is he.
She did not, though.
How many homes does he have? 9?
Yeah, exactly. And yet he went on that fundraising tour. So Donald Trump and Marco Rubio are tied on this list of favorability at -16.
Okay.
Another couple that are tied, and well, lo and behold, one of them is in Indianapolis right now. Joe Biden and J.D. Vance both scored -11. And then you had Robert Kennedy Jr. -5.
In your life, and this is a great opportunity here, I tell people this all the time because people ask me, they say, how do you do what you do? I say, I simply don't care. Like, once you stop caring what anybody espouses to think about you, you will feel such a relief on your life. And I tell people this, and I said this in politics, never lost an election, and every month we are judged by the public at large. Hey, Casey, how did we do in the ratings last month?
Number 1.
How did we do the month before that?
Number 1.
How did we do the month before that?
Number 1.
How did we do the month before that?
Number 1.
Like 1.5 times, many months, the next closest competitor.
Yeah.
So when I hear like anonymous people in our YouTube chat, it's always the anonymous people, right?
With the fake names.
Yeah, we laugh at you. When I hear these politicians scream about me, we laugh at you. Why? Because the scoreboard. So if you're a politician, you keep winning, and you can, like, okay, J.D. Vance is minus whatever, or Trump is minus whatever, or Biden is minus whatever. Those guys, all they did was keep getting in the position they wanted to be in. You know why? Because they don't care. They don't care what your stupid little poll says. The only poll that matters to a politician is the poll on election day, and people huff and people puff, and then they go and they vote for the same crap over and over and over again.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
From red carpets to red states, actor Nick Searcy has seen it all. He starred in the FX TV show Justified and movies like The Fugitive and Castaway. But what he saw in Hollywood and Washington, D.C. changed everything. He'll join Tony Katz for one night of unfiltered stories, sharp insight, and a little bourbon on the side. From Hollywood to the heartland. Saturday, August 23rd at West Fork Whiskey Company. Brought to you by Premier Arms and Boer Remodeling. Tickets on sale now at WIPC.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Life Church. We talk about Life Church all the time. They've had such an awesome impact on my life, on my family's life, and they would love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family. Life Church makes it super easy for you. We go to the Eagle Creek campus, but they've got campuses across central Indiana. Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Plus, if you want to just check it out, you don't even have to leave the comfort of your own living room. They've got awesome online services. You got nothing to lose. You got everything to gain. Check them out on the web. Learn more about everything. LifeChurchIN.com.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at DrexelIN.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
So the government got math wrong again.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. The Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, they now estimate that the One Big Beautiful Bill Act will add over $4 trillion to the U.S. deficit, and that's a little higher than the initial estimate, which was $3.4 trillion.
Well, that's $600 billion. I mean, I know like 3.4 doesn't sound that much less than 4 unless we're in trillions, and then that's $600 billion. Isn't it amazing it never goes down? It's never like, oh, we overestimated the amount of money it'll add to the nation's debt.
Oops, our bad.
So it comes back to, look, these forecasters being wrong. They're wrong on jobs. They're wrong on the debt. They're wrong on here in Indiana. They couldn't get the numbers right for the economy and the budget. Who are these people, and how do they keep having jobs if they keep being this off and keep having to revise all their stuff?
Okay, this is the interesting part about this. The updated figure is now including $718 billion in debt service costs, which
How
is
much?
$718 billion.
That's in debt service. So that's to nothing.
So interest payments.
That's money you're throwing out.
Right.
Have you ever looked at, you're super rich, you paid cash for your home, so it doesn't matter. But for us normal folks, us normies, you ever look at your mortgage and see just how much money you light on fire every month with the interest?
Just with the interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, as the OCD person, that bothers me so much. Not just financially, but it just bothers me that money goes to some rich mortgage investment wherever it goes. And it's just like, I'm just sending it out into it makes me want to pay off my home as fast as humanly possible.
I was going to ask you, do you ever feel like making a double payment in a month to get it down quicker?
You know what my plan is to do?
What?
Well, I'm still working through it.
Oh, okay. You don't want to work through it out loud.
I'm gonna have a big plan, Casey. I just don't know what it is yet. But somebody told me this.
Say more words. What's your plan?
Somebody told me this years ago, and by all accounts, it's checked out. Something like if you make 2 extra mortgage payments a year, you can cut like 15 years off your mortgage.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking. Are you planning on doubling up ever?
I do try to do that every year because you know me. I get a plan and I stick to it.
You got a 30-year, 15-year. What's going on over there?
I will be in debt for a long time, Casey. I'm a parent at 40 of a young child, and I have a mortgage. I will be a slave to society until my waning days.
Yes, this is probably true, especially the cost of raising a child keeps elevating. So the New York Post, this is kind of, I don't know. I think it's good and bad. You don't hear about new newspapers launching, right? They're all going away.
Oh, yeah, they're going away. Is there a new newspaper?
The New York Post is launching a West Coast newspaper, and it's called the California Post, and it's going to be based out of Los Angeles. Right?
So
they are going to include both a daily print edition and an online homepage. That's what I'm saying. You're hearing all the time about newspapers. The cost of printing the newspaper is so high. That's why a lot of them are going away, the actual cost of the printing. But now you've got this company, News Corp, saying, yeah, no, California needs a Post-like publication.
Tell me Jeanine Pirro does not look exactly like Nancy Pelosi.
You think so?
Do you think, Kev, look at that woman on TV. Does that not look like a young Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah, I guess if she was like 30 years younger.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, what is she now? She's a prosecutor.
DC.
She's the U.S. attorney. People know her from Fox News. She's the mouthy lady on Fox News. And now she's of course she is because it's Trump. She's the U.S. attorney for D.C. and she's having some press conference. I think it's related to that
the Doge kid?
The shooter, right? the shooting related to the Israel. Anyway, point is she's having a press conference right now, and she looks like if you were to do a movie on a young Nancy Pelosi, like
they would cast her.
I guess Pelosi's so old now that would make her in her 60s that you would cast her as the Nancy Pelosi person.
Jeanine, she's got her faculties though.
That's what I'm saying.
She's a quick thinker.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you were to do a flashback, Nancy Pelosi is 9 million years old now. So go back 30 years to when she was but a young pup in her late 50s or whatever that would be. That is who they would put in the movie. That is amazing how much she looks like Nancy Pelosi to me.
Okay, so there is a big debate that is raging online, and I think we have to discuss it.
Oh,
because I want to know what your answer would be.
Exciting.
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Do you have an idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
I had changed the locks. Didn't even know where she was living. And then one night she calls to say she's getting treatment. Can I drive? I almost hung up. But then I thought, that's my kid. I chose to put away the hurt and the fear and just see my girl.
Addiction is a disease. Standing by a loved one as they fight it will test your faith, patience, and sanity. But it's possible when you see the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Rob. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No interest for 5 whole years. Restrictions apply. Call 317-659-7574. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The VP is in Indy. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Vice President J.D. Vance landing in the Hoosier State this morning, set to meet with Governor Mike Braun and other Republican leaders. There will be a fundraiser event, and also talks are expected about redistricting in the state.
I'm going to be listening to J.D. today and our 2 leaders of the legislature as well. And we're going to have that discussion.
That's Braun on Fox News this morning. A large group of people are now at the State House for a sit-in protest of Vance's visit. The Indianapolis City County Council's Republican caucus is proposing a new juvenile curfew ordinance. The plan introduces a tiered system of fines for parents. Daily high temperatures are expected to rise a degree or 2 each day from now until Sunday, according to the National Weather Service. The Fever are battling the Mercury in Phoenix tonight, and the Colts take on the Ravens in Baltimore in their first preseason game. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom-built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5, and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at joynerhomes.com.
Discussing end-of-life matters can be uncomfortable, but it's also necessary to ensure that loved ones' wishes are well known ahead of time. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. Up next, I'll share suggestions to help ease anxiety surrounding the talk.
Cardon & Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Visit cardon.us to find a community near you.
Direct, open, and honest conversation is the best way to discuss end-of-life wishes. Knowing your loved one's preferred treatments and desired arrangements will ready everyone for when the time comes. Also helpful, creating a will or trust to ensure assets are distributed accordingly. And consider an end-of-life doula to assist your family during the process. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Zillow ranks Indianapolis number 2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with Mark Dietel. Perhaps you're worried you need costly repairs or upgrades to sell your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Luke and Emma in Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietel. We began building our new dream home, and we needed to sell our old place at a great price to pay for it. The Mark Dietel team made it easy with multiple offers in the first weekend and closed in 25 days at the price we wanted. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold, or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Lately, the market has been making some big moves, and not all in the right direction. If you've been watching the numbers and wondering what it all means for your retirement, you're not alone. At Howard Bailey Financial, we plan for times like this. The truth is, a volatile day on Wall Street can feel a lot different when you're getting closer to retirement. That's why right now is the right time to take a fresh look at your portfolio, and Howard Bailey can help. Are you taking on more risk than you realize? Are you diversified in a way that makes sense for where you are in life? Find out today with the help of our free Market Volatility Guide. Visit retirewithpurpose.com to download your free guide and learn more about what market shifts may mean for you. That's retirewithpurpose.com. Together, let's make sure your plan is built to weather whatever comes next. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
I just shouldn't have said anything at all. That's the story of my life. I should have said nothing at all.
Somebody complaining about something again? What'd you do now?
I get lots of complaints every day and normally just ignore them, but I'm having fun today with it. And we're just letting you in a little insight in my life. So we were talking about...
do we really want to peek into that?
Well, okay, Kev, maybe we... I don't know. I don't want to get shut down by YouTube. I was going to say, we need the people who need people Barbara Streisand thing for the background on this, but I don't want to run the risk of getting shut down by the YouTube. Okay, so with the last segment, we were doing I don't even know what we were talking about. And as usual, I just looked up at the TV.
We were talking about the Court of Appeals.
Oh, yeah,
putting down that 25-foot.
Some lady sent me a derogatory email. What was her signature line? I hope to exceed. My goal is to exceed your expectations. Like a super positive, uplifting signature line. Okay, this lady, she's the epitome of happiness, and she, probably brings a pie to her closings or whatever. Anyway, she's just
ripping on you,
whining at me that I pointed out the law that said the police have to be you have to stay 25 feet away from the police here in Indiana was a horribly written law. It wasn't going to pass muster. The courts were going to throw it out, and they did. And I said that when the moment it was written, I said on these airwaves, you can go back, you can hear it, that ain't going to hold up. And I said, that's ridiculous that a low-level radio broadcaster bird lawyer can look at that, and all these attorneys in our General Assembly couldn't see it. And she sent me this uber negative thing, and I just responded to her. I was like, lady, I just told you it wasn't going to pass the courts, and it didn't.
Correct.
And so I dealt with that. And then in the process of that, I looked up on TV, and what's Judge Janine was what she was known as on Fox News.
Yeah.
Janine Pirro. Pirro. She's the U.S. attorney for the
D.C.
District of Columbia now. And I simply said that she looks like or has a resemblance to if Nancy Pelosi, if a movie were made about her and there were some 30-year flashback, that is what she looks like now.
Correct.
I'm not saying she's lost her faculties like Nancy Pelosi. I'm not saying she's an ugly person. I just simply said that
they have a similar appearance.
Right. She's 74, by the way.
I know.
She's very well preserved. Nothing negative, derogative. And then In the course of human events, I simply said she was the best known as the mouthy lady on Fox News. Meaning, Casey, did she not like to get really intense and flap her gums a lot?
Well, I think the other hosts would actually go to her for her opinion because she is very educated
She
on
brought
the topic.
and she brought the smoke.
She did.
If some
She
guy
did not back down.
If some person were to be like Rob Kendall, yeah, he's the mouthy guy on WIBC, I wouldn't be running around making a federal case out of it. I was like,
you'd probably own it. Yeah, you're kind of right on that.
I bring the smoke and I'm right a lot. That's what we do. How are we doing in the ratings, Casey?
Very nice.
Yeah, very good. Andy sends me this. Just one offhanded comment. Nothing negative about her. Nothing she's a moron or doesn't know her stuff or she should have never had a law degree. Like nothing. None of that. I just simply said she's the mouthy lady on Fox News. I've listened to you for a long time.
Oh, no.
But you really shouldn't describe Judge Jeanine Pirro as the mouthy lady on Fox. She is truly a patriot and deserves respect.
You respect her, Rob. Okay?
This is my life. Everybody's like, what a cool job.
Yeah.
You're the radio guy.
Yeah.
But I have to deal with this. That's the trade-off.
That's the other side of things.
That's the trade-off. This guy is mad at me because, and by the way, I love that.
She is super smart.
That's what did it in for him. All the stuff I've said over the years, and that's what did it in for him.
Did he say he's no longer listening?
No, he didn't say he's not listening anymore.
He's just mad at you for saying that. He felt that you needed to show her some respect.
I love this. She is truly a patriot.
Deserves respect. She deserves your respect.
I wasn't disrespecting her. What does she do? She flapped her gums on Fox. That's why she was paid.
It's not the only thing she did.
Well,
most recently, though, that's what
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why was she? That's what she is best known for. If you stopped somebody on the street who would recognize her, it would be as the woman who was mouthy on Fox.
I think she would like to be known as the first prosecutor to have a domestic violence unit in her office.
Well, I would like to be known as the greatest municipal tax cutter in the history of the state of Indiana, which I am. But what do people recognize me as most? The guy who does the midday show on WIBC.
Correct.
The off-the-rails guy. People hear the name Rob Kendall. Oh, that's the off-the-rails guy.
Z Rob Kendall?
Do I make a federal case out of it if people recognize me as the guy who, goes ballistic about bad government? No, but yet to this guy, I've committed some sort of sin that should send me to Guantanamo Bay for the remainder of my days.
All right, let's argue about this. A social media trend has influencers and commentators up in arms over the major cities in the country. That is the question. What are the major cities in the United States?
All right, Frank, what do you believe are the 4 major cities of the United States?
New York, LA, Chicago, and Washington.
The 4 major cities in the U.S. are definitely Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, and Vegas. If you say anything else, you are dead wrong.
New York City, Chicago, Miami, LA.
Miami, Los Angeles, New York City, and Austin, Texas.
New York, LA, Chicago, Minneapolis.
I think Austin, New York.
Okay, so
did I hear a Minneapolis?
Minneapolis. So the trend here is that everybody's agreeing on the top 3, which would be New York, Los Angeles,
but this was the question
and Chicago.
I asked you and Kev. What is the standard? Like, what are the 4 cities you think of when you think of America? Like, is that...
They're not stating what the standard is. So a lot of people are taking into consideration population, the actual land size of the city.
Right.
You could consider the culture that it brings, or also the history of the city.
Yeah, but like for me, what if it's just cities that bring you happiness? Like Brazil, Indiana was one of the few places that had a nice public golf course and a KFC with a buffet right next to each other.
Now, would you consider
could I put Brazil on the list?
Would you say that's a major city in the United States?
It was major to my upbringing. I played a lot of golf there and ate at that KFC buffet.
Yeah, Henry Lee Summers from there.
Henry Lee Summers from there
now,
too.
somebody did go on and they were answering and they said Sheboygan, Wisconsin, like that.
I've been there.
Obviously that person has some favoritism.
Okay, but if we're talking big cities that you first think of when you think of America,
say the major cities of the United States, top 4.
I would say Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, and I would put Houston in there.
Okay, so you've got the NASA Space Center. It is the 4th largest city by population in the country. It's got a strong culinary scene. You've got your Tex-Mex, your barbecue, and it's got a vibrant street scene.
They got 3 major sports teams.
Yeah. There you go. Some other cities that people are considering. You got Phoenix, Arizona, the 5th largest city in the country. Obviously, it's got that Southwest mix. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is the 6th largest city in the country based on population. A lot of history there. One of America's oldest cities. Revolutionary War history.
So who won?
Liberty Bell. There's no
answer.
winner. This
Oh.
is just the conversation. Most people can agree.
This is everybody gets a trophy. Every city gets a trophy in this. Then there's no winners.
Kind of like, what do you think it would be?
There's no accumulation of the results to here's who are the winners of the thing.
Right.
What would you say?
You know what? A lot of people have been saying Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
And I heard one about New Orleans, which I thought was really interesting. That, if you're going to go like Chicago, Midwest, and you want to go
Lady, we got like a minute left. Who's on your list?
I think New Orleans might be there just for the culture and history
I don't need an
aspect.
explanation. I just need the 4 cities. What are they?
New York, L.A., Chicago, New Orleans.
Kevin.
As a snapshot of the country.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Kevin.
I agree with the guy who used Austin as his 4th city.
But you would go
It's
with
rising
Chicago,
in
New York, Los Angeles.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, very good. What are we doing next? Oh, you're going to tell us about people picking up their dog's feces. How exciting this is going to be.
It's Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon. The biggest stories in Indy. And it's Bring the Heat Thursday. Rob Kendall off the rails. Tommy Lahren will join us. 93 WIBC.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
2 of the best summertime traditions are back. The Indiana State Fair and the Indiana Farmers Dairy Bar since 1941. This year featuring the key lime pie milkshake and the smoked Gouda Q grilled cheese with Gouda cheddar barbecue sauce on Texas toast. The Indiana Farmers Dairy Bar since 1941. Open 9 to 9 at the Indiana State Fair, across from the Coliseum. Brought to you by American Dairy Association Indiana, your Hoosier Dairy Farm families. Find out more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Luxury awaits you at Tom Roush Lincoln and Fishers. Come see the full line of breathtaking Lincoln vehicles at Indiana's premier Lincoln dealership. From the moment you arrive at Tom Roush Lincoln, you'll know you've arrived. Shop over 200 new Lincolns in our state-of-the-art family-owned and operated dealership with no pressure. Just the award-winning service and respect you deserve, plus complimentary pickup and delivery for service. Luxury awaits you at Tom Roush Lincoln and Fishers.
The news everyone's talking about. You'll find it at WIBC.com. The latest from City Hall, the White House, or the State House. Updated all day. Don't miss what matters. Stay in the know while you're on the go at WIBC and WIBC.com.
Just eat it, eat it. Get yourself an egg and beat it. Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's spoiled.
Yes, you can.
Well, I mean, you told it to me, and I'm sure there's some sort of societal. By the way, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. There's sort of some societal benefit from this. It just seems very I don't know. I mean,
somebody was curious, so they wrote an article, and now we're going to talk about it.
Okay, and it's about what?
The do's and don'ts of throwing away dog poop.
Okay, so this is our number 1 rated radio program in Central Indiana for our time slot. We're beloved by many, and we're going to teach you how to handle your dog's feces. How about that?
So City of Indianapolis spokesperson said that putting any kind of trash in someone else's cart is technically illegal dumping.
Okay, so this is if you're out, the dog does the business, right? And we all know that if your dog does the business, you got to pick it up.
Right.
You can't just leave it there.
Correct.
That's not your property.
Right.
You know, I was always embarrassed if my dog even did it. Like, even if so, and I wanted somebody to see me pick it up. Like, it would Bruce, if he was doing it, I wanted somebody to see me pick it up. Like, no, I'm sorry that this is on your property. But there are people who will not pick the poo up.
So what they're talking about is if you take your dog for a walk and the dog does its business and you pick it up and you're walking back to your house and you happen to walk by a neighbor who has their trash can out, maybe, it's getting picked up the next morning or something, and you decide just to lift their lid and drop the dog poo in somebody else. Oh, people do it all the time because they don't want to carry the dog poo all the way back to their own home to finish the walk. So they'll just put it in a neighbor's trash can that's out. Technically, that is considered illegal dumping. You're not allowed to do that.
Now, you're in the city, so you have a city trash come get your trash?
Yeah.
How long you leave your can out?
The night before.
Okay.
Yeah. Then once it's picked up, I put it away.
Okay, and by the time you get home, is it usually picked up?
Yeah.
Okay. Because there are some people who will leave their cans out for like days.
Days, right. Or it just lives out there.
Can I do another? I know this is not the purpose of our topic, but can I do another beef that I have?
Yeah.
There is near where I live, there's a street that we walk down all the time. It is not a major thoroughfare through the town, but it is a traveled street. There's a school near it, etc. And people will leave their cans on the sidewalk because there is no like the driveways are narrow. And then in the evening, when I'm going for a walk, or I got my kid with me and I'm going for a walk and got her in the wagon or whatever, their cans are still on the sidewalk. Like the sidewalks are narrow.
So it's blocked.
It's blocked. So I got to get off. I got to make a choice. I got to either go through their yard with the wagon, which I feel bad about being in somebody's yard, but then I'm like, it's such a burden because there's like a little cliff to get to the road, and that's a whole big thing to get the wagon onto the road.
Yeah,
and it's pretty.
So just move it off the sidewalk.
Well, I
Quit
didn't want to
blocking the sidewalk.
Can I touch someone's trash can? Is that like a mailbox? Is that some sort of offense?
Federal crime?
Because I'm like, that's pretty rude of you to just leave your can on the sidewalk into the late hours of the evening. And it's multiple people that will do this on the street, and it's interrupting the travel of pedestrians, which is the premise of the sidewalk. The sidewalk belongs to the pedestrian.
Right, so maybe you should just be more considerate to your neighbors. Now, here's the thing. I think you could probably move the trash can out of the way, and you would not get any retaliation from that because the Department of Business and Neighborhood Services are the people who actually enforce this section of the municipal code about the illegal dumping with the dog poop.
Sure.
But they say they lack the capacity to cite individuals for this specific type of illegal dumping. So, you're not supposed to do it, but nobody's coming after you if you do it.
Okay, so this was my other question because if you're touching somebody's trash can, but it's in a public. It's the sidewalk or right away. I guess the sidewalk would be a right away because it belongs to the public. Like you own that part of the property, but you don't
own the sidewalk.
Yeah. So I could move that person's trash can onto their property and not face any ramification. I'm not talking like being angrily throwing. I'm glad we had this conversation because I've struggled with this.
I don't think anybody's coming after you.
Yeah, because it's really an inconvenience. And I get people work late or whatever. I get that happens. But it is when I see multiple people on the same street having the issue, and we're talking into the evening hours.
Right.
I think at some point I deserve the right to be able to move the thing.
I'm just imagining you pulling a wagon. Is it a red wagon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll love
I
this.
bet it's cute as can be.
Oh, you'll love this. My neighbors, they're like 2 or 3 houses down. They have kids that are elementary school age kids.
Yeah.
And last year they were like, hey, they've outgrown this both in size and you're not putting a 10-year-old in a wagon anymore. would you like this wagon?
Yes.
And it's one of the fold-up wagons.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's perfect. You can just put it back in the garage. It folds back out. It's the perfect size for our daughter.
Yeah.
It's great. So, yes, my very nice neighbors, who I'd only met a couple times before that, came and...
rather than it go into a landfill,
right.
somebody else can
Very nice
use
of
it.
them. What else do you have?
Okay, there's a new study. This came from Pew Research Center, and they said that nearly half of American workers don't take all their vacation days that they're allotted.
Oh, why would you not do that?
They say many of them feel discouraged from using their time off. They feel guilty.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Now, here's what
guilt for taking the time off that you are owed.
Well, but see, I feel weird when I don't come to work. We've been through this. I feel very weird when I'm not at my job. Like I feel like I'm missing something. That day we went to Chicago, I was just like, how many emails do I have to look at? And I got the OCD.
Were you thinking about work the whole time you were there?
No. It's just like over my head, right? When I get home, I know there's these emails. And that's the way, see, you don't have crippling OCD, Casey. That's the way the OCD works. Like you get focused on something. It's why I'm so good at this job, because you just get focused on something and you don't get off it, and you can't get off it until you fixed the thing in question. And so for me, I just knew they could all be junk emails, but I got to get through them. I got to delete them or whatever.
Yeah,
and I'm just thinking the whole time, like, I got so much to do when I get home.
I don't have the crippling OCD. I have the fear of failure, and nobody is a harder critic on myself.
You are. You're brutal on
than
yourself.
myself.
Like all the time, Casey will be ripping on herself. And I'm like, Casey, you
Relax.
should care as little as I do.
Right? But people don't take their vacation days. Also, they have a fear of being seen as a slacker or replaceable. Like you feel like, okay, you took this day off and they carried on without me. Maybe they don't need me, or they'll find somebody who does it better.
Now, this radio station actually owes me a giant thank you, which I will never get, because as we know, every year, and they yell at me, I save all my days until the end of the year and then just take them. I basically don't work in December.
That works out real nice for me.
The reason I don't work in December is because, and look, I freely admit, I am driven by spite and rage and hatred. Spite and rage and hatred for the people down the street from us at 200 West Washington.
Sure.
And I know the biggest middle finger in the world to those people, who I know the feeling is mutual back at me.
Is that they don't get a break from you?
Is when they got to see that ratings book posted every month, and we are numero uno.
Yeah.
That is my drive to be here every single day. And for the people who don't know the way the business works, they don't really take the December book because everybody's off and you got Christmas music and all this other stuff. It doesn't count the same. It's universally accepted.
Okay.
It's like a throwaway, the holiday books, and blah, blah, blah. So, like, I feel comfortable that I can do that, because even if the ratings go down, it's not a thing that people are judged by. And then I can get right back on my horse 1st of January, making these people insane on how well we do. Am I a horrible human for that?
No. I think you take pride in what you do, and you want to do a good job for all of our listeners. But my question for you, when you return back after taking such a huge chunk of time off all at once, don't you have an issue like re-engaging, restarting? Is it kind of like those first couple days are like,
I was born to do this, Casey. I could,
You're born ready.
I could do this in my sleep. I could do this all day, every day. I'm like Benny in The Sandlot. Benny would play baseball all day, every day, and all night. That's me. I would do radio all day, every day, and all night. And boy, what a way to go out today. About how much we love our jobs. Hopefully we get to keep them, because they told us around here, Thursday's the day they tell you if you're...
it's Thursday, right? Well, we'll find out tomorrow if we're all here. In the meantime, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for listening. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Community Health Network cares for your heart health. From heart scans and vascular screenings to complex heart procedures, you can count on our expert team for the highest quality cardiovascular care, when and where you need it. Your path to a healthy heart starts with knowing your risk. Schedule a heart scan or vascular screening today. Visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care. Simply delivered.
Indianapolis was built for speed, electricity, and non-stop action. So was Live Golf. So where better to crown a new individual champion? Leading the pack, Rahm, DeChambeau, and Neiman. But only one can be the victor. So be at Chatham Hills August 15th to 17th as Live Golf gets even louder. With a doubleheader concert from Riley Green and Jason Derulo. Tickets are already flying out of the gate. Hurry and grab yours now at livegolf.com.
An official message from Medicare. I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is zero and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
At Quality Supply and Tool, now through September 26th, or while supplies last, there's a huge DeWalt sale going on. Save big on 20-volt max kits, bare tools, and batteries. Pros will love the rod and cable cutting plus crimping kits, while Dad would love the new 20-volt cordless DeWalt drill, Bluetooth speaker, job site fan, and hand vac. The sale's at all 4 Quality Supply and Tool locations in Bloomington, West Lafayette, Indianapolis, and Jeffersonville. Whether you're a pro during the week or want to work like one on weekends, Quality Supply and Tool thinks outside the box. Store.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family heating and air.
Maintenance is going to drastically increase the efficiency and performance of your system. It's also going to significantly improve the longevity of it. People think that they are saving money by skipping their maintenance, and in reality, they're just shaving years off the life and increasing the consumption of that unit, spending a lot more in the long term.
Get your tune-up today at Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Honda of Fishers is now Great Lakes Honda of Fishers, under new ownership, just off State Road 37. Stop by for special grand opening prices during the summer sales event. Drexel Interiors, the place to go for upgrading your kitchen, bath, or flooring. Schedule your free design consultation at drexelin.com or visit their showrooms today. Go where the pros go.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up, late rigging of our elections.
Braun is orgasmically anticipating his meeting.
I don't have an exact deadline on it.
A lot of tax revenue that's paid to cities from the state.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
Vice President J.D. Vance is in Indianapolis. Mostly sunny and 83 degrees on Monument Circle. The high today, 89. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. And WIBC's Ryan Hedrick is hearing concerns that his visit could tighten the state's Republican grip.
I am in the State House right now where a sit-in is going on behind me.
I want them to continue to play dirty because unfortunately the mantra of when they play low, we play high has only served to undermine us.
Democrat leaders, including Congressman Andre Carson, are expected to address the hundreds of people that have showed up to protest many things, including the visit by the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance.
Well, I'm not very happy with him coming in town for the reasons he's coming in town for. Basically, it's a blatant rigging of our elections.
I also met Mark, and he says that he does not support redistricting in any way.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. They're trying to rig the elections all across the country, and the more they do it, and this has been going on for decades, and the more they do it, our voice is being silenced more and more and more.
Kathy joined the sit-in. She's from Texas. She moved to the Hoosier State about 4 years ago.
I suspect that Governor Braun is orgasmically anticipating his meeting with J.D. Vance, and he cannot wait to redistrict Indiana.
Reporting from a Democrat-led sit-in here at the State House, Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
More on how redistricting is affecting Texas in a moment. You can also expect Vance's presence in Indianapolis to cause traffic slowdowns and delays. You might have heard that Indiana is using space in a current prison to create the Speedway Slammer, a Miami County facility for up to 1,000 people awaiting deportation. Border Czar Tom Homan said Wednesday that this is part of a crackdown.
I don't have an exact deadline on it. I know it's we're looking at about a 1,000-bed facility, and I just, like I just said in another interview, I'd like to see more. I'd like to see bigger facilities that hold, 4,000 or 5,000 people. It just creates more efficiencies.
DHS shared an AI image of an IndyCar with ICE logos and the number 5, and leaders with IndyCar and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway say they were not consulted about that and they don't support it. Indiana's Governor Mike Braun joined Fox's America's Newsroom this morning to talk about the use of that facility.
We're trying to do nothing more than cooperate
with the federal authorities to make sure that folks that came into the country illegally and then broke the law once they were here, that's going to be way up there in favorability to do something about it. I'm glad the Trump administration is doing it.
Democrats and immigrant rights groups say these facilities are violating people's constitutional rights and forcing them into crowded, inhumane conditions. Eli Lilly says their obesity pill led to more than 12% weight loss in closely watched late-stage clinical trials, so it's now likely to be approved. The highest dose of the pill helped nearly 6 in 10 patients lose 10% or more of their body weight. Researchers say the pill also led to reductions in cholesterol, triglycerides, and blood pressure. Indianapolis City County councilors are proposing a new curfew ordinance for minors that would be able to fine parents for repeat violations. Johnette Cruz reports.
After a written warning for a first offense, parents would face a $500 fine for a second violation, with the penalty rising to $1,500 for each additional offense. The proposal is set to be introduced next Monday with the goal of holding parents more accountable for their children's actions and getting kids off the streets. Supporters of this measure include counselors from both parties and community leaders. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Where the FBI is involved and why. That story and more next on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, Trump wants to redo the census. Oh, it's on. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Well, Tony, the president says he wants the new census to be based on modern-day facts, figures, and information gained in the 2024 election. With more on that, here's Fox's Jared Halpern.
On his Truth Social platform, the president also says people in the country illegally will not be counted in the census. The census required every 10 years is essential to determining how many congressional seats are apportioned to each state. The 14th Amendment says the whole number of persons in each state is counted, and excluding residents without legal status could trigger court challenges. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
There's a special census in Indiana this year, which Westfield Mayor Scott Willis says is very important for his city.
A lot of tax revenue that's paid to cities from the state is based on your population. So we have 65,000 residents that are paying taxes, but we're only getting the revenue back for, say, 50,000 of those residents. So there's a gap.
Willis says it's important that they get the tax revenue that reflects their accurate population. You can start responding with the proper paperwork for that census, which opened today. The FBI has agreed to help track down a group of Texas Democrats who fled the state in protest of redistricting. That request was made by Senator John Cornyn.
We cannot allow these rogue legislators to avoid their constitutional responsibilities and make a mockery out of Texas.
Civil warrants have been issued, but local law enforcement there cannot make arrests outside the state. The first preseason game is tonight for the Indianapolis Colts when they face the Baltimore Ravens. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson will start, and Colts head coach Shane Steichen says Richardson has shown during training camp so far that he can be reliable.
It's been great to see. We need that from him. You know what I mean? We need that from everybody. That's one of my pillars is consistency, and we need to be consistent all the time. You know, not sometimes be the same guy every day and show up.
Daniel Jones will also see some reps at quarterback. Kickoff between the Colts and Ravens tonight at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. I'm John Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Roads of America. It's Tony Katz Today.
All right. First of all, I think you know who I am. I'm Janine Ferris-Pirro. I am now the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia.
If only she had a working microphone, Judge Pirro, come on. You have a 9-count indictment against the murderer of 2 Israeli embassy staffers. This happened May 21st outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in D.C.
And re-victimizing victims of past anti-Semitism. Now, a few facts. On May 20 of 2025, Elias Rodriguez traveled from Chicago, Illinois, to Washington, D.C., and brought with him a 9mm semi-automatic weapon.
While on the plane, he traveled across multiple state lines and drafted a manifesto called an explication on his iPhone. His explication made clear his purpose in committing these crimes that I'm about to read to you was to demonstrate his hatred for the people of Israel. The next day, on the afternoon of May 21, he purchased a ticket to attend a young diplomat's reception sponsored by the American Jewish Committee at the Capitol Jewish Museum.
The moral of the story is that we're going to see these people, these murderers and murderer wannabes, brought to justice. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. By the way, explication, the act of making clear or removing obscurity from the meaning of a word or symbol or expression. So it's not a spelling error. It is purposeful to the word. I'm happy to see it, as we should all be happy to see it. Because as we note, as we see these moves, these maneuvers, this bigotry is not about Jews. This is about the end of Western civilization. We're seeing this now in Australia. And I will get to that story. Australians saying, just like Israel, Australia doesn't have the right to exist. This is what happens when you allow Hamas supporters into your ranks, when you allow Islamists into your ranks. It's what happens. It's what goes on.
Well, let's bring in...
And the madness continues. You've got over there at Sephora, where they have a beauty line called Huda, H-U-D-A. Huda? Well, the Huda beauty line has a founder where they say that Israel is to be blamed for causing every world war, 9/11, and October 7th. All of the conspiracy theories coming out and a lot of evidence behind them that Israel has been behind World War I, World War II, September 11th, October 7th. They allowed all this stuff to happen. Is this crazy? Like, I had a feeling, I was like, are they behind every world war? Yes. Behind September 11th? Absolutely. Yes, the Jews were behind World War II. They did it to themselves. I swear to you, I didn't know that the creator of the Huda beauty line was Candace Owens, but here we are. Now I have to worry about her suing me. Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron are suing her. She's going to end up suing somebody else. You know that's coming. None of this is about what they say it's about. Every part of it is about Western civilization. Every part of it is about going after you and going after your kids. Every single part of it. Now, I'm going to get into some of this regarding Bill Hemmer, his conversation with Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister. He was actually in Gaza. I am supposed to go to Israel in 2 months. I have the ability to get on a trip. I'm not 100% sure. Now I'm leaning towards it. I was like, I have a bunch of things going on. I should go, and I should bring the equipment, and I should just say sleep is for the week and just broadcast and do the whole thing. So I'll keep you posted on that. And I've got these other things that I want to get into. But this story is just one of many. Like, for example, the story of the EPA slush fund. Now, you say to me, man, you're really moving some conversations here. Rather, what if I said it's all, in many ways, part of the same conversation? That what we're seeing is how people act and how groups work to support things that are not of our benefit. When you see the support for these pro-Hamas people, the college students on campus, first of all, we call them students like somehow they're children. They're grown men and women. They should be treated like grown men and women. And when they take over a building in some level of play-acting protest, you should send in SWAT teams. You should bust open doors. You should physically accost them, throw them to the ground like they are hostile actors, cuff them, frog march them into waiting vans, take them to jail, and then decide what to do with them. And if you say to me that isn't the way we treat Americans, I'll say to you, aha! That's my point, boo-boo. They are not what they are not. But they are not children, and they should not be treated well. They're play acting, engaging in an act of violence while they do so. We're going to take over a building in solidarity with Gaza and their suffering. Yeah, you're going to destroy our property. You are going to get cuffed. It's going to hurt. And then we're going to throw you into the waiting car. That's what's going to happen. Tony, you think it's okay to treat Americans like that? I think if you take over a building with an act of violence like they did in Colombia and threaten janitors, not so much Americans. When you support terrorist organizations, not so much Americans. When you have systems that are meant to fund this anti-American point of view, not so much Americans. USAID proved, in my view, that the organization did not exist for any benefit. And this idea that we were going to do great harm to the globe by not having it never came to be. Oh, some people are going without the money. That's okay. That's fine. We asked from the very beginning, we asked a very, very basic question. Does the institution exist to benefit the citizen, or does the institution exist to support the existence of the institution? And what we found is from USAID, it existed to support the existence of the institution, not the citizen. It is obvious to every rational mind that USAID existed to support anti-American causes and people who were interested in the slush fund, the power of the progressives, and the destruction of the citizen. They didn't care about you, worth the damn. They were not working in your interest, worth the damn. They were working in their interest and for their existence, for their people, for their slush fund, for their opportunities. End of list. And when you see the amount of groups that have gone out of business because they lost their funding, I think it becomes factual. This takes us to the EPA. I brought it up just moments ago. Did you know that there was a $7 billion Solar for All program? I didn't either. The EPA had a program called Solar for All that was designed, as reported by CBS News, to, quote, bring renewable and affordable energy to low-income communities. Is that right? You had a $7 billion program to hook up someone's house on the poor side of town with solar energy. You remember when it was Stacey Abrams who was going to get money for stoves? Right? She had this whole program that she put together where she was helping people get fuel-efficient stoves for their homes and their businesses. She launched a nationwide awareness campaign and a network of large and small communities working to help Americans go electric. $2 billion. I do not know how much an electric stove is, but you could buy a lot of people electric stoves with $2 billion. She was going to focus on electrifying homes, not saying, here you go. It was a grift. It's part of this idea, this slush fund concept. That's what they do with your money. They don't take your money and say, let's be effective. They take your money and say, how can we ensure more money gets to the people we need it to get to? The people we want it to go to. For the sake of the institution's survival, not for the sake of the American people. The EPA has got the same thing. The EPA has got $7 billion. The Solar for All program provides funding to 60 grant recipients that plan to create or expand existing low-income solar programs with the goal of enabling 900,000 households across the country in disadvantaged communities to utilize solar to reduce their home energy bills. Hold on. Let's make the assumption that I'm doing the math wrong, but we'll go with it for the sake of the argument. You have $7 billion. That's a lot of zeros. $7 billion. And you had this divided by 60 grant recipients. Each grant recipient got $116,666,667. By the way, don't get me wrong. I see all those 666s in there. I'll leave that for others. I just don't play in those worlds. That stuff freaks me out. So a grant recipient gets $117 billion to say, hey, you should heat up that pasta with the power of the sun. And you're like, I'm sorry, I should do what now? The sun. The sun? What is it?
My God, the sun.
What is it, Simon?
A large fiery ball at the center of our solar system, but that's not important now.
True enough. True enough. This is a grift. It's what it is. It's a grift. Did you need to hear anything else before you were like, oh yeah, that's a bunch of crap? Also, how can I become one of those 60? We don't even begin to comprehend the levels to which people have been engaging the theft of our dollars and the dollars of the nation. It's so important we pay our tax dollars that millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share? No. It's important that government makes sure that our already existing dollars are utilized properly. And until they do, screw them. I'm talking to you, Senator Warren. You aren't making sure our dollars are spent properly. You're just terrible. You want more of our dollars? No. You shouldn't get paid until you can prove that there is no waste, fraud, and abuse like this. My goodness. Can we hear it for Doge? The value of... Seriously, Producer Landon? Nothing? Thank you. My God. Next time, show up to rehearsal. This is exactly what we need. And this kind of program is exactly what we don't need. And as a matter of fact, I don't think we should be encouraging people to use solar at all. Let them decide to. Let them make that decision. Let the market do its work. But yes, the EPA should immediately put an end to this. USAID, Solar for All, we do not understand in any way how big the grift is and how many people are making out like bandits from our dollars. But the fact that we don't know how many, the fact that we can't comprehend it, doesn't mean it isn't happening. Oh, it's happening. And the more we uncover, the better off we're all going to be if we stop it from happening. I'm Tony Katz. This is Tony Katz Today.
From red carpets to red states, actor Nick Searcy has seen it all. He starred in the FX TV show Justified and movies like The Fugitive and Castaway. But what he saw in Hollywood and Washington, D.C. changed everything. He'll join Tony Katz for one night of unfiltered stories, sharp insight, and a little bourbon on the side. From Hollywood to the heartland. Saturday, August 23rd at West Fork Whiskey Company. Brought to you by Premier Arms and Boer Remodeling. Tickets on sale now at WIPC.com.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through